course, lead the show in what it's ended up being the bigger story of the day, which is we know the Chiefs' first opponent is, and ESPN Bink is taking a chance. Will it work? It's hard to say. But the real question remains is, will it be at home or will it be away? We found out today that the Chiefs will open the season on Monday Night Football on September 14th. And so my initial instinct is really one of two things. One, ESPN is willing to take the risk that Patrick Mahomes will be available week 1. And somehow this doesn't turn into Jared Stidham remains is versus Justin Fields. Will it be away? We found playing out of there. But so like when we talk about it, that's eventually the question, Bink, and we'll find out whether or not these things come into play. We don't know yet or not if the game will be home or away. My other thought is this the NFL in its masterclass making an attempt, Bink, at keeping people interested in the storyline of will Mahomes be ready for week 1? Is that what this is? Do you think he's going to be ready for week 1? Am I supposed to assume now?
Yeah.
Because they're taking on the Broncos in the first week of the season?
Well, they would have to get some heads up. You know that Clark Hunt is instrumental with the league. He talks to the league. The Chiefs definitely get their way when it comes to Christmas Day games. And if he wasn't ready for week 1, I don't think they'd have this game because they want to feature Patrick Mahomes all summer. The Patrick Mahomes is back. This is the game he's back. Monday Night Football against the Denver Broncos. So I think they probably got pretty reassured that he'll be back. I mean, we've been saying it since early on. I mean, as soon as it happened, like, he's going to be back.
May 12th, like to the best of their knowledge.
But as soon as he had surgery the next day, like, this dude's going to be back. I mean, this is the way he's wired. Travis Kelce comes back. You're thinking, okay, things are good once again in Chiefs land. So I think the NFL will build it up as marketing all summer long. The Chiefs versus the Broncos. The Broncos beat the Chiefs 2 straight last year. They make it to the AFC title game. Had to have a backup quarterback. Didn't quite make it to the Super Bowl. So everything's good in Denver Broncos land. It's going to be interesting. Joe Buck was on this morning, and he announced the game because each one of the networks kind of trickling games out. But it wasn't quite an announcement, so to speak.
Yeah.
They said the Chiefs are playing the Broncos, but they said we don't know the facility yet, which is really weird at this time. They said it's still fluid. The schedule's still fluid. Well, maybe there's a few things to work out, but for one, the Kansas City Royals don't play that Monday. So the Kauffman Stadium there, Truman Sports Complex, wide open. You don't have to worry about moving the game to a certain time. They're completely off. But the Colorado Rockies play at home 6:40 at night. They're in Denver. They're not right next to each other, but they're both downtown Denver. And it'd be their opening night. They really want to mess with Major League Baseball. Listen,
they don't mind messing with regular baseball.
No one's going to care with the Rockies. They move these games all the time. With Major League Baseball moving them up to an earlier time slot, which they would probably do anyway, of course, if the game was in Denver. And all the fans in Denver will be watching that game with the Chiefs and Broncos. But that is something out they'd have to deal with. They'd have to deal with Major League Baseball in that case because something would have to be moved. And then if there's a thought of, well, could the Chiefs have 2 road games? They would make them do 2 road games at the beginning of the year. It has been done before.
I think
the Packers
plenty of times,
had 2 road games to start the season because they want to have in all these primetime games this year. The Royals are in Pittsburgh the following Sunday. So there's no conflict there. The only conflict they would have is week 3 if the Royals play because at 2:10, they all play at 2:10. They all play at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. No one cares. But the bottom line is that following Sunday, the third week, you could pretty much bank on the Chiefs being on the road.
Yes.
Because they're going to be on the road on there or not play on a Sunday, be a Thursday or be another night.
They could just be at home on a Tuesday. So, like, looking at the Royals schedule, while it could tell us a story, we can't know yet whether or not it's going to happen. I got to say, I hope it's a road game. I don't know if that's a bad way to look at it, but because I don't think the Chiefs can even be sure, Bink, that there's a 100% chance that Patrick Mahomes will be available, I don't know how I should be hoping for a home game. If they're more likely to lose the road game anyway, well, then screw it. Put it on the road, and if Justin Fields has got to start, so be it. I guess the opposite argument would be you got a better chance of winning the Justin Fields start at home than you do on the road. And with Patrick Mahomes, certainly, if they had to go play him on the road in November when he's feeling his best, maybe you'd get the better version. Which way do you lean? I genuinely like, you know what? Just give me the road game. I am shocked. I thought it would be week 2 or 3 before we saw a primetime Chiefs game because I didn't think any of the networks would genuinely have the stones to risk it because it is a risk, Bink. You could get stuck with Bo Nix and Justin Fields for Monday Night Football Week 1. That's not what you're aiming for.
And
Not
Bo
when you're
Nix
trying to
did
steal
have the
Chiefs
injury, but he
Broncos
should be back
markets.
for training camp. But there's,
Yeah.
can you imagine a situation where it's Jarrett Stidham versus Justin Fields? It'd be funny, but Bo Nix should be back by that time. To be honest with you, I'd rather get the road games out of the way. Like if you have that Division W on the road, getting Denver later in the season at home when things start to matter a little bit more.
One, sure.
So I don't.
They're not going to steal one in Denver with Justin Fields.
Well, the Chiefs
that's
on the
just
road
an
don't bother
auto
me.
L.
The Chiefs, when they won the 3 Super Bowls, they won it to 5. They were a very good road team. Well, they were a very good team anyway. They were putting up more than 12 wins a year, so it didn't matter if they're playing at Arrowhead or on the road. They were just winning the game.
Somebody says it's going to be the Chiefs because they announced that it's Chiefs playing the Broncos. I think that's just marketing. Like, Broncos, like it
To
or
make
not.
you guess.
Well, but here's the thing. Like it or not, the Broncos, even though they were in the AFC title game last year, they're not the Chiefs on paper. So when they go and announce those matchups, if they don't already know the home versus road, they're going to put the bigger brand first. And the bigger brand is still the Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes, and they want to draw you in. I don't know. Bink, I was genuinely hoping, and this is maybe already turning out not to be true. We'll see as the rest of the primetime schedule comes out. I was hoping that the Patrick Mahomes injury would allow the Chiefs to fly under the radar a little, to get some non-primetime games, to play some noons and 325s so they could, like, get Mahomes back up to normal, get the offense in sync, not have to, like, play on a Thursday and then a Monday and then follow that up with a Sunday and then, short rest. And you and I would be talking about Warren Sharp digging up net rest numbers. I was kind of hoping the injury.
Which, by the way, speaking of that, the Lions play 3 games within 12 days. But go ahead.
It's crazy. So, like, I was just kind of hoping that the injury would slow down the beginning part of the season so they could kind of get their feet wet before the season started. And now it's like, nope, just immediately on Monday Night Football. So, like, any hope I had about the Patrick Mahomes injury slowing him down just feels like that ain't going to happen, right?
No, but it's the Chiefs, it's the marketing, it's what people want. The NFL desperately craves the Chiefs. They've even admitted that, their marketing officers, saying, listen, we want to put the Chiefs wherever we can. And they've used the Chiefs for a lot of it. Again, 4 of the top 5 highest-rated NFL games last year were Kansas City Chiefs games. We're talking about a team with only 6 wins, yet 4 of the top 5 games. The most regular season watched game ever was the Chiefs and Cowboys on Thanksgiving. But the Chiefs are right there. The Chiefs are gold for television networks, win or lose, love them or hate them, which obviously all the fan bases that hate the Chiefs and here around, they love the Chiefs. But just having the Chiefs on sells tickets. They know it. It's ratings. That's the only thing that matters to the NFL. So no matter whether they get them, if they'll put them in the first week, boom, it's just starting right off. We'll just throw the Chiefs and Broncos. They are desperately craving this rivalry to work out again for the Chiefs and Broncos.
Yeah, they are. And
they're
honestly,
desperately, because the historical rivalry, obviously, Chiefs and Raiders, but the Raiders got a long way to go.
the Chiefs and Raiders are not a rivalry anymore. They haven't been a rivalry in 2 decades.
No, they haven't. And the Chiefs Chargers, that as much as you drum, nothing ever sticks with Chiefs fans, really. They don't like the Chargers, but they don't despise the Chargers like the Broncos and the Raiders. But definitely the Broncos have been the Chiefs' rival. They went on that run before they won the Super Bowl there in 2015. Then it was all Kansas City Chiefs.
Stole a quarterback from each other, right? Maybe Peyton would come here. Then Emmanuel Sanders
What was
left.
it, 16 straight games the Chiefs beat the Broncos?
Yeah, it was a lot. But
mean,
they
it-
weren't a
it was
rivalry
just-
for a while
it was-
because the Broncos
they
weren't
weren't.
relevant for a while.
And it wasn't a rivalry before then because the Broncos were winning all the games. Then all of a sudden the Chiefs started winning all the games. So it's gone back and forth with these teams. But they're desperately wanting this rivalry, just like the Giants and the Cowboys on opening week, that rivalry game. Eagles and Cowboys are a Thanksgiving game because of that rivalry. They're desperately wanting the Chiefs and Broncos to be a rival again.
Sure. I guess a lot of it comes down to this idea of rivalries in the NFL. It's not college football. They are based on 2 things. One is, divisional or history, but more importantly, now. What's happening now? 15 years ago, 20 years ago, Bink, 15 years ago, the Chiefs and Bills had never been, as far as I can tell, a rival. They nothinged each other. They didn't play in important games. They didn't look for each other on the opposing schedule. They both had stretches of ineptitude. That didn't matter. They're now one of the NFL's best rivalries. Why? Because Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. Even less so. Chiefs and Bengals were never a rival. They were even less than the Bills, probably. Are they rivals now? Yeah, because the teams have been good. Not as much as some of the ones where teams are good. But that's why, like, divisions ones are easier and easier to sell because you get to do 2 matchups a year plus maybe a playoff matchup. and you get to go back and forth. Colts and Patriots is only a rivalry in your head because Peyton Manning and Tom Brady existed. But I did not think they'd open up the season against the Broncos on Monday Night Football. I didn't.
It's been so one-sided.
I didn't think they'd go that strong with it. Look, Bo Nix is 2-0, I think, against Patrick Mahomes. They've beaten him 3 straight. Or no, they've beaten him. He's 1-0. They've beaten him 2 straight times.
Last year. It was
Chris Oladokun or whatever. So it's not like he's taking him to the woodshed like Broncos fans would have you believe. I just hope this means Patrick Mahomes is available.
Do you like getting this game out of the way early?
No. I wanted it like Jets-Cardinals week 1, 2. Genuinely, Drew, I'd have backloaded it. Like, just for the sake of Mahomes can't run the same. The Broncos have a good defensive line. Do I want Patrick Mahomes' first game back from a ripped-up knee to be on Monday Night Football against, at least, bare minimum, a top 5 defensive line in the NFL and one of the 3 best sack teams over the last years? Not particularly.
Yeah.
No, I would have rather had this game at any point in the season than week 1. This is not my ideal week 1. And that means they're playing on short rest in week 2. So now I have to get Mahomes on week 1 Monday Night Football game against one of the best defenses in football. And then he only gets 6 days to go back and play week 2.
That one's got to be,
if he's available. I don't love that. No, that's not the ideal way to start a season.
The week 2 matchup you would think is where the Cardinals one comes in or yes, something like that. Me personally, as soon as we found out that he was doing OTA work, I think he's going to be ready. There's a very high chance I think that he's ready to go.
Yeah.
I think
better than 50-50, better than 70-30. What percentage are you guys at right now?
I'd put it over 90%.
I agree. I have to say right now, the fact that he's playing in OTAs and he seems to be attacking rehab well and it fits in the time, it's not like we're asking him it's not like he's ahead of schedule from the standpoint that he's going to break the 9 to 12 month window. It's not like we're asking him to recover in 7 months from an ACL. He's in the window. I think it's a 90% chance that he's back.
And I still look at Kelsey coming back because if he was going to be gone an extended period of time, he wouldn't have messed around with coming back.
But
he's got way too much money at his age. He would have just retired and gone off to the sunset. So, yeah, I think he's coming back, and I think the networks know he's coming back. I think the Chiefs feel like he's coming back, and I would not be shocked at all if Game 1 Mahomes is playing.
But your point, Cody, though, on you would much it doesn't matter because again,
I want him to start.
If Mahomes is he's not going to be fully healthy. He's not going to be the Mahomes that we're used to seeing. I don't think in week 1, obviously, because he's not going to play much in the preseason, if at all, probably none. It'll be his first.
Hopefully none.
It'll be his first game action since he tore the ACL against one of the best defenses in football. That would make me a little nervous.
Yeah,
It's not like they're playing the Cowboys. Even if it was the Cowboys, at least it's the Cowboys defense. You know, at least it's a defense that you know it's going to be. It won't be particularly difficult. Or if it's the Broncos, you know that. Plus, it's the divisional game and all that stuff. It'll be interesting to see how his progression continues to go. But I would think it's the Jets, Cardinals, somebody like that in week 2. There's no way they're double dipping with.
I'll tell you this much.
Double dip.
It's not the rivalry we think it is because, again, the Broncos won 7 straight. Then the Chiefs rolled off 16 straight. So you had one team winning all those years. 23 straight years, you had either Broncos or Chiefs winning the game.
Yeah, I haven't had any energy to hate the Broncos.
And the Broncos now, since that 16-game streak ended, the Broncos have beaten the Chiefs 4 out of 5. So you haven't seen that rivalry. I'll tell you who had it made last year. Who had the schedule made. It worked out perfectly in their favor, and they didn't do a damn thing with it.
Broncos?
Chargers.
Oh, yeah.
The Chargers
have an easy schedule.
The Chargers had games versus the Chiefs, the Raiders, and Broncos. They were 3-0 in the division to start the season. 3-0.
Yeah. Someone said they're more from the 4-1-7. I'm more concerned about the young defense early than about Mahomes.
All right, that's fair too.
Well, in fairness, Bo Nix, you're facing Bo Nix in week 1. That's not
might be his first game action since he broke his ankle.
I was going to say, I mean, if it's Bo Nix and it's Jacoby Brissett, that actually helps the defense out a little bit, I would say.
I also just think like the Broncos offense took a lot of weeks to get kind of humming last year. So there's part of me that thinks, maybe it'll take them a little bit longer than you'd like.
Even though they got Waddle and everything, yeah, I would think so.
We'll talk more about this later on in the show. Again, coming up at 11:30, Royals general manager JJ Picollo will join us on the show to talk about where they're heading as they get ready to take on the White Sox tonight, right here on 96.5 The Fan. But Bink, I was taking a look at it because I have a lot of people say you should give, like, the most negative Royals fans say the simple thing, which is give up. They're 19-22. This is just a 500 team. You got to let that go. This is what they are. I still think that there's hidden potential hiding in there. So I wanted to give you some numbers to know where the Royals have to land in the standings in order to get to the number of wins we think to win the division? Because that's the question I have for you, too. How many wins does it take to get the division? Right now, to get to 85 wins, the bare minimum number it would take over the last 10 years to win the division, 66 and 55 over the final games. Obviously, then to 86, 67 and 54, 68 and 53 to get to 87, and so on. Which means if you want them to get to 89 wins, they're going to have to finish 70 and 60 or 51. 19 or 18 games over, right, in order to get the job done. And I know that that sounds crazy and that winning percentage is crazy, but I got to point out that it's still winning 4 out of the next 7 games, essentially, every time for the rest of the year. I don't know why that's crazy. I think the division is going to be won at 86 games, which means I think the Royals have to go 67 and 54 for the remainder in order to win this division.
Last year, Cleveland won it with 92.
They're not getting to 92 this year.
I
got hot,
agree.
though. They did get hot.
They did get hot, but
92.
getting to 92 was really a shock that Cleveland got to that point last year.
But you don't
86 got you in the playoffs. 86 was the cutoff mark. Okay. 85.
So 86, you need to go 67 and 54. Does that seem that crazy to you?
No, I was 2 years ago. Last year was a little bit more. Excuse me. Cleveland only had 88 wins last year. What 92 was the year before. 88 wins. The cutoff was 87 games to be in the wild card. And Detroit and Houston, remember, they both finished with 87.
Okay.
And
87, they got to go 68 and 53.
Okay.
That's what they got to go the rest of the way. 68 and 53. I give them at least a 50-50 shot to finish that well.
At least 50.
Bobby Witt Jr. is playing at an MVP level. They still do have a decent starting pitching staff, even without Cole
Vinny
Reagans.
turns it on about now.
Vinny's been good since May 1st, per usual. And then they still got Michael Garcia playing just as high of a level. Their outfield's playing significantly better. The real question is, can they cover the loss of Cole Reagans again? And can they get enough out of their bullpen to not let too many games wash away the way they did early in the season? They lost a lot of games early in the season because of the bullpen and because of the lack of offense, where they're losing 2-1, 3-2, 4-3 for a good stretch of time. Can they cover that gap outside of it? But I mean, this division, it mostly takes 90 wins to get it, but this isn't a 90-win year, is it? I mean, genuinely.
Unless they get on a Cleveland run like last year. 2
of the last 3 years, it's taken 87 and 88. You're trying to tell me it's not? It's an 87-88 year, maybe 86. It's not a 92-93 win year to get the AL Central. Maybe I'm wrong, and I'm like way overestimating this, but I just don't see in a world in which I'm overly concerned about it. Do you really? I mean, I still think their best chance is to win the division rather than just try to get 87 wins and get into a wild card spot, because it's hard to imagine a world right now in which there's going to be 2 AL Central teams in the playoffs, aren't there? Have you looked at the AL East? Have you looked at like the West? Like, I'm having a hard time imagining 2 AL Central
just
teams.
Just one, probably.
In, right? So you're still going to have to win the division. And if you win the division, at least you get to avoid, you get to play some home games and give yourself a chance. Like, that stuff gets at least into that mix, and you're right back in there. But I don't know. I wanted to put some numbers to it because people are making it sound like it's impossible. But 87 wins is 68 and 53.
68 and 50. Look at last year's Cleveland team. They didn't really blow you away. They were 12th in Major League Baseball overall in ERA. Jose Ramirez was once again just leading the show, doing everything. That's Bobby Witt Jr. here in Kansas City. Weren't they 3-4 in the MVP? It was Ramirez and Bobby Witt?
Yep.
I'm just trying to look at how Cleveland did it. Can Kansas City make a Cleveland-like run? The answer is yes.
Well, the answer was Cleveland last year. So let's just do the same number of games. Would you like that? So they're 19-22. So through 42 games, the Cleveland Guardians were, they were much better. 25 and 17. Although I will point out that right after that, they went on a bit of a losing streak and found themselves closer to 500. At their worst last year, they were 33 and 30. So 3 games above 500. No, I apologize. They were at one point 35 and 35. A perfect 500 through 70 games. So really, that's the marker. And look, I had said it before. I just wanted them back above 500 by May 31st. That's still well within reach. They got 2.5 weeks.
Detroit was on cruise control. They
Chicago
didn't make a lot of moves. At the deadline, Detroit was on cruise control. Then Cleveland catches them.
Yeah, and Detroit, honestly, they probably thought they were comfortable and could get there. But look, they were even below 500. Now, I'm at June 29th now. The Guardians were 40 and 42. They were down to 40 and 48 on Sunday, July 6th. There is plenty of time in a season in order to do it. Matter of fact, they didn't get out of playing essentially just 500 baseball until August 3rd. So the point is, I don't want the Royals being 56 and 55 on August 3rd, like the Guardians were, and then just trying to stay hot for 5 straight weeks when they made their massive run to catch up. Just get like 4 or 5 games above 500 by then. Play good baseball up to that point. Then you can play normal the rest of the way. You don't have to win every game out in order to take the division at 88 games, 87 games. You just got to slowly trickle your way up. And honestly, they've been a lot better against the division this year than last year. Last year, the Royals got burned in the division, and that cost them a lot of games late into the season. And so that's something I would absolutely avoid. From the 620, they're going back to the jersey stuff. They said Chiefs and Broncos. ESPN Graphics shows the Chiefs in road jerseys and Broncos in home jerseys. Does that tell you anything? We're like, we'll just wait till they tell me. I don't need to speculate on where it's going to be. I can tell you where I hope. I hope it's on the road. But outside of
There's
that,
more work to be done. If they move the Rockies game, they'd have to put that at noon. I mean, it's something they could do. Just an extra step to do it.
yeah. Coming up in about 8 minutes, we'll talk about who has caught the Chiefs. Bink's got an opinion on who might be in that same category. Drew, I saw you join the masses last night, though.
Yeah,
And
I did.
not enjoying the Chiefs' social media post about their opponents, saying presenting our 2026 opponents as sourdough, a bread thread, if you will, starting saucy with KC barbecue. So the rest of the thread, in case you didn't see it, were just, bad photoshops, intentionally bad photoshops, placed inside of sour loaf bread recipes. And for those who don't know, that's a reference to Taylor Swift, who obviously loves cooking sourdough bread. What is it you didn't like about it before I give an opinion?
It's just, I think it's also the captions too. But for the first way that I saw this was somebody had commented on it, like, are we really doing this? Like, I think it's the Chiefs. It's like they're trying too hard. They're trying to be funny. They're trying to be witty, but it's the claimiest clam chowder that ever clam chowdered. Thanks, Dad. You don't have to do this. I think it's a nice try.
It's got real cornball energy.
It's a nice try, but it's a whiff for me. Made this loaf for the halibut. And then they put LOL at the end of it as well. Like they're trying to convince themselves that it's funny. Like, well, what are we doing?
I gotta say,
you're not the Chargers. You're not the Titans.
but every
There
team
are better-
does try to do it.
Correct. There are better ways to reveal your opponent's schedule. They would have been better just putting the schedule out as it came out.
Well,
Just make a graphic.
yeah. Well, they were certainly trolling people, and it worked.
Bink,
now people are-
Trolling?
Bink,
They
what
were
are you saying?
100. The
Do you
Chiefs
think they
were.
intentionally did
The Chiefs were.
uninteresting?
They're 100% trolling people, and people are taking this thing seriously, which is laughable. You'll believe anything if you think the Chiefs were actually going to put out bread for their opponents. They did it as a joke.
I don't
they
think
did
they
it
did,
for
Bink.
people to
But
talk about
wasn't
it.
I don't think
funny.
they did.
You don't
Jokes
release-
are supposed to be funny.
You don't release things early. This is 100% a joke from the Kansas City Chiefs. I hope they admit it, that it is a joke, because people are freaking out about freaking bread pictures. It's something on when they release the schedule, they'll have their own schedule release video, won't have anything to do with bread. They're doing it as a joke, and it's falling on hard times because people don't see it as a joke when it clearly is.
Can I ask a question of the recent Chiefs social media schedule release stuff? Do they have internet that works?
No, they haven't been
Sometime in the last 5 to 7 years, the Taylor Swift joke for the schedule would have been good, I don't know, 4 years ago when she started coming to games. They did Cash Cab last year, Bink. Cash Cab was a show that Drew doesn't even remember being on television.
I've seen Cash Cab. In fairness, I
It was
have.
bad.
But it is 10 years old.
But
Plus.
how many
It was-
teams
it
put
was-
out? How many
it was
teams do a
rerun.
teaser for Thursday night already? They just don't do it. They
Well,
put
some
out their
people do.
schedule.
Some people do
They're
the,
like
like,
saying, "Hey,
opponents
we're
in
opponents
whatever."
coming out." No, this is the
They
Chiefs.
do opponents as Pokemon
The Chiefs
or
are
whatever.
trolling everybody, and you know what? It's working.
Because
Because the Chiefs' job is trolling people, and it's 100%
You know what?
landing. I got some oceanfot property in Arizona to sell you, if
what,
you
Mick?
believe that.
I hope they don't post anything on Thursday other than just a graphic of the schedule, because then it'll show itself.
No, they'll do another video. You know
No,
what?
this is
You
not
don't-
real, guys.
Bink,
I'm gonna
get
put this
it.
on-
They are joking with
Bink.
everybody. They are trolling. I mean, use some common sense, a brain, people. They're joking.
Bink, a good troll job is what the Chargers do, or what the Chargers are
The
going
Chiefs
to
are
do.
trying too hard. I give you that.
Thank you.
But this is a joke. They don't intend to put out
I don't-
bread for their opponents.
Nobody thinks it's going to be
Then why
like
did they do it if they
a
didn't
chef
intend
or
to?
whatever.
Because they're
Dude,
trolling.
even Eric Stonestreet made fun of it.
I know.
And Eric Stonestreet
falling.
is
Bink, you were the only person.
Chiefs home. You might be the
Bink,
only
you
person
were
who
the
liked
only-
it.
You were the only person who has the. You were the only person.
Can I read
Who
you
has
some of the
this take?
comments?
Hey,
the
wait a
only
minute.
person.
No, go listen to the morning show. Because Bob Fesco had this exact same take.
You and Bob are the only people.
It's an awful troll job if it's a troll job.
It's a troll job. It's a troll job.
Let me. Can I just read you some of the general feelings on the internet? And the internet hates everything, so that's fine.
Just go to the comment section.
From Kermit, this is quite possibly the worst post I've ever seen. Someone said, "So you decided to post this? Here's why you shouldn't have." Somebody said, "Here's some eye cleanser," and then just posted their own art instead. Somebody said, "I wonder if the social admin knows they just created something that will echo in the eternity of this app and not for a good reason." Then they just posted the graphic design is my passion post. Now, look, I don't think the edits I don't have any problem with the edits inside the bread. I understand they were going for a over-the-top look. I think it's management's fault, Drew. How about this? This is on your side of the suits thing. I think the issue is the Chiefs don't want him to take too many chances. We can talk about that more on the other side. Plus,
Trolling.
Yeah.
Trolling who? I'm trying to tell people.
Ted, you're it.
We'll get you some other updates on the schedule releases as well. We'll do that next.
Cody and Gold, brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. Follow the station on Instagram for ticket giveaways and behind-the-scenes content from the show at The Fan 965.
Spring is here, and as the weather heats up, the sports action heats up at Circa Sports. From baseball to basketball, hockey to golf, Circa Sports has it all. Circa Sports isn't just sports betting, it's sports betting the way it should be. High limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional customer service. Whether you're looking for playoff futures or props on your favorite players and more, Circa Sports has you covered. Download the Circa Sports app or visit circasports.com today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
New treatments for joint pain are here. By now, you've heard about regenerative medicine. If you're wondering if you're a good candidate, answer these questions. First, does chronic pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, or other joints keep you from doing the things you enjoy? Golfing, jogging, time with the family. Does it hurt doing the things you need to do, like getting out of bed, sleeping, working, and walking? And finally, do you want to avoid surgery and all of the pain, long recovery, and uncertainty that comes with it? If you answered yes to any of those, you need to call QC Kinetics now. Learn about exciting advancements in regenerative treatments that can give you long-lasting pain relief with no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. Get your free consultation today. Call QC Kinetics. That's QC Kinetics. Here's the phone number.
Call now, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299.
Hi, I'm Carter. And I'm Charlie. We'd like to share a quick story about a homeowner named Jack.
Jack had a home he needed to sell fast.
And Jack thought he had it all figured out.
So Jack talked to multiple cash buyers.
Jack chose the highest offer.
But the day before closing, guess what? The buyer backed out,
leaving Jack with the moving truck all packed in the driveway and not sure what to do.
Jack learned the hard way that the highest offer isn't always the right offer.
Jack got suckered.
Make sure you aren't hung out to dry.
Call our dad at Rex Buys KC.
Our dad is local, he knows Kansas City, and he actually closes deals.
No repairs, no fees, no showings, no surprises.
Just a fair cash offer and a smooth process.
Now, don't be like Jack.
Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com.
Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time.
They call this one Bill.
Whoa, aliens? Am I in a spaceship?
Affirmative, Bill.
What's with the laser saw?
Relax. We are cutting our bill in half.
What?
An Xfinity mobile transmission says you can cut your bill in half.
Oh, your mobile bill, not me, Bill.
Ah. Xfinity Mobile also says we can try it free for a year. Free.
Yes, with no commitment. Can we put the saw away?
I am reluctant. But we will find another being to bisect.
That's not sci-fi, it's Xfinity Mobile. Xfinity Internet members cut your mobile bill in half. Plus, try Xfinity Mobile free for a year. No commitment. Learn more at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Savings compares one line of Xfinity Mobile Select to comparable plans from T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T as of 3/24/26. Taxes, fees, extra. $30 monthly discount limited to new mobile customers only. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
Spring is here. Now's the time to get your air conditioner ready with a $49 AC tune-up from Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter. A tune-up can help save money on your energy bill and prevent expensive breakdowns. As your local home service experts, everything we do is backed by our exceptional service guarantee. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews adds up to dependable service from neighbors you trust. Visit callhamilton.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/team. That's ZipRecruiter.com/team.
ZipRecruiter. Spring is showing up and showing out. Give your yard its own moment with limited time deals from Lowe's. Grab select 1.5-gallon annuals hanging baskets, 2 for only $15. Plus, we've got Miracle-Gro 0.75 cubic foot garden soil, 5 bags for just $10. A little dirt, a little color, and we are so back. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid 5/7 through 5/13. Selection varies by location. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Carpal tunnel syndrome. Heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
Royals coverage brought to you by Metal by the Foot, your metal project superstore.
For over 36 years, Metal by the Foot has been your source for steel, aluminum, brass, and stainless. Located in Casey and Topeka. Online at metalbythefoot.com. When you need a piece of metal, remember, metal doesn't have to cost an arm or a leg, just the foot.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Rob Brennan. We hope you're enjoying Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's biggest sporting event. It's presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. New episodes released every Wednesday on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Back in here on Cody and Gold, Cody Tapp, Jay Binkley with you. Coming up in 1 hour, we will have Royals General Manager JJ Picollo join the show. I still think jokes are supposed to be funny as it relates to the schedule post. I'm curious to see what they go with theme-wise this year.
I think
I do really love the social media teams taking their attempt at the schedule release.
They were doing it to be so corny. They were doing it because
they were
everybody
doing it
gives
to be corny.
Yes, because everybody teases their social media and how they're never good at it, and they don't intend to put out bread for the opponents.
Some people still didn't like it. I don't know one way or the
there's
other.
a lot of things to be upset about, but not bread.
No, I'm not upset about it. It doesn't ruin my day.
Win more than 6 games.
Yeah. More importantly, probably than anything, that Bink.
Mahomes coming back. That's more important.
Yeah, we'll talk more about the schedule release. Obviously, if you missed it, the Chiefs will open up their season on Monday Night Football against the Denver Broncos. And as a reminder, this year, there are no more Monday Night Football doubleheaders. They got rid of them.
Love it.
In favor of more streaming partners bought more games, and they wanted more Saturday games later in the season. I think they had them weeks 15, 16, 17.
And having 2 Black Friday games
and
the
18.
Thanksgiving Eve game. So that's where the doubleheaders went to.
So
and that makes sense. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So, like, that part of it will change it a little bit, but no Monday doubleheaders this year. The Chiefs will be a standalone on that game just to open the season pretty much right away.
You get some Joe Buck.
Yeah. Joe Buck was the one who announced it today.
Just listen to Mitch.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have any problem with Joe Buck, even though I was annoyed. He bragged about Madison Bumgarner. He was a single reason the Giants won that World Series over the Royals. So
that was a player worth talking about because he was.
Yeah,
I've never seen anything like it.
That was it. He's a weird dude. I'll admit that. So that probably throws people off. But I don't know, whatever. I don't
really cared about announcers that much.
But Bink, you were asking me before the show, and you had said, "All right, let's take a look at the teams around the AFC now that we get a look at it." We know the Chiefs have the 5th hardest schedule, despite getting a 3rd place schedule for the first time in a decade. So they get the 5th hardest schedule, and you were saying normally on your list of tiers with Kansas City would be the Chiefs, Buffalo, Baltimore, and occasionally Cincinnati, depending on what their individual year might look like.
Cincinnati's usually on there.
But not for 2 years in a row? So it's been a few years since Cincinnati entered that conversation. Problem is, I don't think there's a lot of teams a tier ahead of Kansas City, but I think there are a lot of teams in the tier with Kansas City. I think it is probably a genuine 5 or 6 team wash. Maybe 1 or 2 I'd put ahead of Kansas City, but I'd put 5 or 6 teams at the same level as them going into the year. Yeah.
So Baltimore, Buffalo, that's 2 of them there.
Cincinnati, the Chargers, the Broncos.
You put Cincinnati in that tier then.
Mm-hmm.
So you're buying into their defensive moves and draft.
I borderline think I maybe need to include the Jags.
I'm buying into the Bengals.
I think the reason that you include teams like the Bengals or not the Dolphins, obviously, but teams because they had the same record. You know what I'm saying? I think
but like the Chiefs have a better history, but it's like excluding them would mean in a lot of ways, it feels like I don't have to. If I was going to exclude a team, it would probably be at that like Cincinnati-Jacksonville line where either staying bad where they were the last 2 years or mediocre or regressing like Jacksonville seems more possible. And I think Kansas City will come up, but they're coming off a 6-win season, Drew. So like, it is hard to delineate the difference between Chargers have won 11 games 2 years in a row. The Broncos are the best team in the AFC last year. The Jags were better than the Chiefs. Like, it feels like they at least deserve to be in the tier with Kansas City.
Even like, are the Ravens in the same tier as the Chiefs? I would say yes, because again, people forget the Ravens missed the play. I think
they did, but they won 8 or 9 games.
I think they're in the same tier, and Lamar Jackson was healthy for a bulk of the back half of the season. I forget how many games he missed exactly.
They've improved that defense too, vastly.
Yeah, I mean, is Houston in the same tier as them? Because we know Houston has the best defense in the NFL. Them and Seattle are the 2 best defenses, and then Denver's probably in there too. But is that enough for you to say that they're in the same tier because the defense is that good? Or do you think they could fall off just the same as, Cody, you're saying Jacksonville could potentially fall off?
Well, look at tier 1 where sustained success. Meaning each and every year you're going to be
then Cincinnati doesn't deserve to be on that list.
To me, though,
but they have been there. But at least they went to the Super Bowl.
But do the Chiefs
run the Chiefs
after this
on.
past season? Do the Chiefs belong in that tier?
Well, because it depends on if you say sustained success. In my opinion, what he's saying is that's not a 1-year process. That's like a 4-year process.
When you've been to the AFC title game 7 straight years, this year things went south on you with injuries and everything. You get Mahomes back.
But we know, Bink, before the injuries hit, they were not making the playoffs.
No, you have an elite level quarterback, so they belong in that tier. I'm talking about sustained success. Like Buffalo, always going to be good. Baltimore has earned their place there because they're always, to fight at the end of the year. Yeah, you have down years. Last year was down year. The Jags are the team, to me. Remember Doug Peterson have that team up good. They won a playoff game. They beat the Chargers. They beat the play. Then they started sucking again, and all of a sudden they're drafting Travis Hunter at the 2nd pick in the draft. Now all of a sudden they got good again. And you know what? They'll probably fall back off. What I'm saying is there's too many Johnny-come-latelys in the NFL.
Sure.
Teams you just grab on and you say, look at this team, look at them, this team's going to go on a run, and then they don't. We see it all the time in the NFL where a team is really good and you think they're turning a corner, and they fall flat on their face.
Is your question just
and
like...
I think the Jags are that team.
If you're ranking the tiers of the teams you are most confident will be a playoff team in that regard...
I think the Super Bowl will come from those teams.
But then it'll be... Then I think that the tier this year in the AFC would be Bills, Broncos, Ravens? I would put Bills, Broncos in a tier above. I am more confident they will make the playoffs than any other team in the AFC this year. Then I would put Chiefs, Ravens, Chiefs, Ravens, Jags, maybe, and then Patriots. The Patriots are got to be somewhere on that list too, don't they? But they're in the second tier. It's a mess, Bink. I don't think there's a big difference between Team 2 and Team 8 in the AFC this year.
Well, the Patriots are one of these teams too, where they people talk and complain all the time about the Chiefs getting to the quarterback last year.
Yeah.
Guess who tied the Chiefs in sacks last year? New England Patriots.
Yeah,
they haven't done a lot
they weren't good at it
exponentially
either.
to get better on defense. The Broncos had 11 one-score games. That was the thing with the Chiefs last year is the ball wasn't bouncing their way like everybody thought it was in 24. So do you think the Broncos get all those breaks, those miraculous fourth-quarter comebacks like they had against the Giants this year? No, Jalen Waddle makes a big difference for that offense. I do. But still, it's limited with Bo Nix and his availability. Bo Nix got hurt. Has been hurt twice in his career now. He got hurt at the end, too. And that defense can't always be good. Yes, Denver is showing they're taking the steps. Can Denver keep pushing that through? Are we buying Denver to this point? Are we buying what they did last year? Or were they fortunate to win a lot of close games where the ball just having to bounce their way towards the end, which is kind of what happened?
So some of it is definitely that. But also Denver is Bink, you know football well enough to know that Denver's roster is good. They got a good head coach.
They barely beat Chris Olave.
They might not be upper tier the way we talked about some of the elite Chiefs teams, or even how we felt about the Rams or Seahawks last year.
Yeah.
But that's one of the better rosters in the NFL.
No, it is. No question. But they barely beat Chris Olave at the end of the year, who couldn't complete a forward pass. Almost beat the Denver Broncos. But so many close games that they won, the ball bounced their direction.
And the same thing happened for the Chiefs 2 years. Bink, I don't think
the Chiefs backed it up, though.
No,
I don't think you can just 7 straight AFC title games.
But
3 Super Bowl wins in 5 years. They went to 5 Super Bowls. The Chiefs wrote the check, and they cashed the GM
you're mentioning
check.
one season where all those close games happened. You know what happened a couple years ago? The Chiefs barely beat Zach Wilson and the stinking Jets, okay? And then guess what happened? It didn't matter.
They won the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I don't think
we
we can just look at, well, they barely beat this team. And it's the NFL. It's not, if you're barely beating teams in college football, I think it's different. Where if you're barely beating teams in the NFL, it's just the way that it is. If we're talking, it sounds like the tier that you're talking about isn't a. It sounds like what you're talking about is a tier of teams that you think can beat the Chiefs this season.
Who represents the AFC in the Super Bowl is what I think.
Yeah, because I think if we're talking about tiers of who you would just put in certain categories, then it sounds like you're going off of more than just a year sample size, where I don't know if we're going off of more than a year sample size. I don't know if you can include the Bengals in there just based on what we've seen the last couple of years.
No.
I mean, you can include the Ravens, but
if we're saying team who win the AFC, they do still have Joe Burrow. So I'm not
correct. So I think that's fair. But if we're taking tiers of who can beat the Chiefs in the AFC, I would probably only say that it's Buffalo.
I will say
for right now, because the Ravens, we don't know what Jesse Minter is going to do. We don't know if that defense is going to look better. Can Lamar Jackson stay healthy?
But I don't want to ignore two things that I think we've maybe undersold, because it does matter when it comes to the NFL quite a bit more than we want to admit sometimes. We have somewhat maybe under-discussed as we relate to these teams that are like in there. 2 of them have new head coaches, and we don't know if they're any good. What if they are bad? What if they're Nathaniel Hackett bad? It's not like the Broncos thought that's who they were hiring when they brought in the offensive guru, right? At the time, he melted the thing down. What happens if Baltimore chose wrong? What happens if the Bills chose wrong? Both of those teams could have chosen the wrong head coach
for sure,
and could miss. That. I don't think that is an unfair, major question mark to toss at the feet of those teams as we start relating to the tiers and this other stuff. Like, it's not something we've discussed a lot, but it is certainly something. And something that they're going to have to get out there. Somebody mentioned the Texans, who, if I had any confidence in C.J. Stroud, I would say is also one of the best rosters in the AFC, but
yes,
especially defensively. My God, they might win every game 13-10.
There's a lot of people like the Colts, right? The Colts have finished 8-9 the last 2 years.
Not even entertaining them.
But last year, they got off to the hot start. Everybody's liking the Colts. But the Colts finished with an 8-9 record, the same record they had the year before. They thought that they had things answered when they had Daniel Jones playing at a hyper level. They had Jonathan Taylor in the MVP level,
and
they traded 2 first round.
Broke his leg. So
let me finish.
Yep.
And then with the Colts, Jonathan Taylor's on an MVP pace, and he comes back to pack. That's due to coaching, not his talent. And Daniel Jones, yes, he got hurt, but you know what? Daniel Jones sucked the couple games before he got hurt. The dude
he did. It was falling apart before.
The dude had 7 turnovers before he played the Kansas City Chiefs. The previous 2 games, he had 7 turnovers. He was starting to be an interception and fumble machine the 2 games prior to playing the Chiefs. And so things started going south and downhill for the Colts. I'm talking about teams that don't just rise up, but stay good, stay consistent. The foundation of the team, the culture of the team. Do they have a quarterback that's always going to be in MVP conversations? Because that makes your team better.
What's funny is like
and the
that
skill
only
positions around them. What teams are doing things to take the step? Jacksonville didn't. Jacksonville got to a playoff win, but then couldn't punch their ticket, getting better and better the next year.
No, and they're an interesting one because I like their roster, but I don't like it as much as some of the other teams we're talking about. So they are ripe to come back a game or two. But that AFC South seems to change hands a lot. We'll talk more about the Chiefs and their schedule coming up in just a little bit. Let's take a look at what the other things are we know about the active schedule right now, and I guess where it's headed. Other than, are we going to be forced to watch the Cowboys in every single primetime game for the entire year? We know that the Cowboys are playing on the first Sunday night football game against the Giants. We know the Cowboys are facing the Ravens in Rio at 3:25 on Sunday, September 27th. So that'll feel like a different style game. We know that they play on Thanksgiving against the Eagles, another game that we're familiar with. So far, as it sits right now, it feels like, Bink, you were saying it feels like we know a lot. I don't feel like we know that much yet. Half of the leaks I feel like I see right now are not a story in which I would trust the source saying the schedule. The confirmed games right now, to me, still feel somewhat limited in some way. You think we know a lot?
Well, you're starting to. It's only Tuesday, too.
It's all the
Keep in mind,
Cowboys.
everything that comes out today, Wednesday, it's going to be insane. I would not be shocked if the Bengals-Chiefs is primetime. Would you, Drew? I mean, that seems to me like a total primetime game.
They've been playing in the late afternoon slate, though. I don't know if you consider that primetime or not. They've been doing that the last couple of years.
Well, the networks reserve it.
Like you said, they've been on CBS.
Because Burrow Mahomes is very attractive.
Yeah.
So I can see that. But more and more games will trickle today. A lot of them started to roll last night. By Wednesday, you'll start to see a lot more. And then by Thursday, it's going to be situations of, all right, where's the game going to be played?
Do we think that we'll know all the international games by the time we get to the actual release on Thursday?
I think so, because they're not going to want to
like those are the ones that get released
usually
first,
earlier.
really,
it's the like standalone prime time. Oh, it's just us at 8:30 in the morning, Drew. And a lot of the Sunday night football or Monday night footballs, or sometimes even the Saturday ones that are doing it. Do you like Bink that I guess there's no Monday night doubleheaders anymore?
I love it.
No Monday night doubleheaders. They're doing it in favor of the more Saturday games and then more.
I mean, I
for their
did
streaming
enjoy
partners,
2 games
Peacock
on
and
you
Netflix
could watch, but
I know, but like a Monday night football, I do think that sometimes we should have standalone games. I think it adds something to the sport that there's just it's these two teams and you have to watch a football game differently. And
definitely like having the
it's
extra
not red
games.
zone and that, but and I didn't like when they staggered them in a lot of ways. It made one too late and one too early. I don't know. It just didn't feel like it fit the same way. I think I prefer the schedule this way, where I just get the standalone games. I'm just curious to see when we get the next Chiefs leak. Has anyone leaked the entire Chiefs schedule yet?
I have not seen that. They've been very careful about full schedule leaks.
There's always one team, though, that gets the whole thing leaked at some point.
Look, most of them are
And
just
it's accurate, I guess, because there's a lot of leaks out there that are
Yeah.
just not right.
No,
For
I mean, like
clicks.
some of them would be like, it'll schedule one at Arrowhead at the identical time of a first pitch of a Royals game. And you're like, I don't think so. I don't think that that's the case. I think legitimately right now, the only game we have seen even properly leaked for the Chiefs schedule so far is the Chiefs will play at 7 p.m. Kansas City time, on, or whatever, 7:20 p.m. on Monday Night Football. But we don't even know what stadium yet or what version of it. And so, like, the leak stuff, it feels to me that it's coming a little bit slower for it's Tuesday. I feel like by now I might know 3 or 4 games of the Chiefs schedule. Maybe not.
It
But it
started
feels
getting a little
like
bit crazy yesterday.
They going to play on Christmas again?
It'll be crazy. I think so. I think they'll be
Every year?
I think
Every
so.
year the
It's
Chiefs
been
on
3
Christmas?
straight. It's what they want. It's what they've asked the league for. I think the Chiefs want to be a Christmas Day game.
I never asked you, Bink. I don't think we've been on the air during that time. Are you pro Christmas Day game or anti?
I don't mind it.
Okay.
I mean, it's something to look forward to.
But I mean, that means, you might have to work that day. You might have to do some pregame.
I mean, it's different. The
help
kids
out.
are older now, so I mean, it makes it much different.
Yeah, you're not doing
much different.
Wait, what time do you still get together with the kids
Or
on
the
Christmas?
Christmas night game's fine. Yeah, I still do it, but
okay.
But they're watching the Chiefs game too, of course, or we're going to it.
It just depends on the family. Like somebody
Last year, one of my kids went.
Okay, so like last year or yesterday, we were talking a little bit about it, and somebody was like, "Hey, God forbid," I said, I don't want to watch football Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday every week. And they were like, God forbid that we do something that we like together. I'm like, you know what? That's fine, honestly. It doesn't feel as bad for probably someone when it's a thing that you both enjoy. Right now, neither of my kids are that into football. And I'm not going to force sports upon them just because I like sports. So, like, I'm in a weird in-between. My son is starting to show a lot of interest in playing sports, which probably means watching of sports is probably not far behind. My daughter is 9 and has shown no interest really at any stage. So that would have to come around later, I guess, at this point. So I prefer the no football on holidays.
Even Thanksgiving.
Personally. If I can avoid it.
Whoa.
Like Wednesday night. I don't want the Chiefs to play Wednesday night before Thanksgiving. That's baking time for me, Bink. I'm in the kitchen making pie time.
Not paying attention to an active time.
I'm not trying to pay attention depending on the opponent, of course. I don't want it to be Chiefs Seahawks day before Thanksgiving, and it's like, man, I gotta kind of watch that game. That's the defending Super Bowl champs. And I don't want to watch it in the kitchen while I'm baking. I got to bake on Tuesday now. Throws my whole week off, Bink.
Sourdough?
I've baked sourdough plenty of times.
It's
not my preferred.
You should have done a cheap schedule.
Should I do it, but with real bread, and I'll just stick like toys in it?
Yeah.
Like, what can I put in Cincinnati? What's Cincinnati?
You
Just
do your
shove
own
some
schedule
actual
release.
spaghetti?
Do your own schedule.
That was
release.
what the Chiefs did in their.
But like
in their
real, Drew. I'm saying I'm going to take it one step further. I'm going to hollow out a loaf of sourdough with real spaghetti in it.
But
I'm going to make it
Thanksgiving-
realistic instead.
Thanksgiving is just a tradition for football. I mean, that is just football. Even when the Lions sucked, it was still fun to watch at noon.
I don't mind. I do think there's a part of most family traditions involve watching football on. I just hope it's not the Chiefs.
No, last year got carried away because they were on Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah, I don't mind when football's on the TV at Thanksgiving.
We know they're going to be on
I
Christmas.
would prefer
though.
it's not the Chiefs, a game I have to pay attention to.
Would you rather them be on Thanksgiving or Christmas? I'd rather them be on Thanksgiving if I was a Chiefs fan. I'd much rather than be on Thanksgiving.
But that's also because I like Christmas more, like as a person.
I think we all like Christmas more.
I don't know. I mean, people have different holidays. Some people are 4th of July or Thanksgiving or Halloween.
Yeah.
You know,
The Thanksgiving game was fun last year.
everybody's got a different favorite holiday. Christmas is probably like in the power rankings #1 for most people.
I think you'd be happier with it being Thanksgiving just because we already have football's already become such a part of it that we already know you make the food, you eat the food, plop down on the couch with some leftovers and just watch the game. Like we already kind of accept the fact that there's football on. Or Christmas, not that there's not, but Christmas is still not new for the NFL, but it is still kind of relatively new for the NFL.
Over under, by the way, let's say 5.5 teams who reference Vrabel and Rossini in their schedule
5.5
video.
Man.
Well, we know
that's probably a good number, actually, I would say.
5.5.
I think it's a good number.
People who reference that in some way in their schedule release video.
Well, the Chargers for
are a
sure.
lock. That's a one.
Because
That's
they're gonna have the boat.
And there'll be
they're
some
gonna have
other
the boat. They're
yeah.
gonna be doing the Titanic thing with Vrabel and Rossini. It's 100.
Would you
NBA? Did
I mean,
it
I
on
could
ESPN.
see the other AFC East teams
I think
doing
at least
something.
one from the Jets or
Bills or the
Bills.
Dolphins. Yeah.
So the Chargers are on
Dolphins
their
have been
schedule.
out there sometimes.
So the Chargers are on their schedule. So that's a lock.
If you're the Dolphins, you have a yacht or something like that on the water. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of creativity.
The Dolphins, the Bills. I don't know if the Bills are going to play that game.
At least one East team. I don't know all the Patriots opponents. Never the Chiefs. It's not going to be them.
No.
Obviously, the
they don't
Bills
take shots like,
twice.
they don't ever take shots like that.
They play the Lions. I can see the
If
Lions.
they take shots, it's all just like very surface level. Not that. I will say, Drew, I finally hit as much as I don't have any problem with TMZ wanting to release a photo a day of Vrabel and Rossini hanging out at a boat seemingly from every single year for the last 6 years. The other day when they posted the one of like her on Mother's Day, I'm like, we can draw the line there. I'm good before that.
Her and her husband and her kid.
That one, I know, and I know they blurred the kid's face out, but like that
still.
that was a step too far for me.
Yeah.
They could have just let that one go.
I agree.
I don't have any other problem with like you made your own bed. Sorry they keep releasing photos of you. You did this to yourself situation. But the photo of her on Mother's Day, like kissing her husband goodbye with a kid in her hand, I'm like, I don't like that. I don't like that one at all. You could just let that one go.
Yeah, they can let the story go.
It does.
But it's not going to go dormant though. Because
I'll take
teams
the under
will take
because I
advantage of it.
think Goodell's gonna suggest
Suggest they don't.
he's gonna prefer that you don't. And I
The
think there's gonna be
Chargers
there's gonna be a lot of front offices who do not want to step into that for the time their coach or their general manager or somebody in their front office runs into a problem. You know, that's my best guess, at least on that end. When we come back, we'll talk about the Royals, who start a 3-game series against the White Sox. Binkley's got some numbers of just how good they've been against the White Sox lately and how this already feels like a must-win series.
What's up, KC? It's Matt Strahm from the Kansas City Royals. You're listening to Cody and Gold on your home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. 96.5 The Fan.
Performance matters in intimate moments. Don't let ED ruin them. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and I want to assure you that if you're like the vast majority of guys, you don't have to suffer with ED anymore. In fact, you might be pleasantly surprised at how the right treatments could positively impact your love life. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical therapies go far beyond pills. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, and we offer specific and combinative treatments that can dramatically enhance both your performance and your stamina. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a far greater level of intimacy to both you and the one you love, perhaps performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and find out why our advanced treatment strategies offer so much more. Your first visit is just $99 and gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. Heartland Men's Health, advanced medical science to improve men's lives.
Liberty Mutual customize this song for you. Like your car insurance, it's custom too, yeah. Liberty Mutual's got the coverage that could save you money. Thanks to Doug and Limu, well now you can go and take that cruise. Liberty, 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 yeah.
Graduation season is the busiest time of the year, and you want it to be perfect, so you need to trust Hy-Vee with your important celebrations like we do. Choose from a wide range of budget-friendly catering options like the classic grill out for just $7 per person or the Hai Chai Asian buffet for just $14 per person. And don't forget the personalized baked goods, flowers, and more. Leave all the prep work and messy cleanup to Hy-Vee with full-service catering for any size celebration. So sit back and relax. Your perfect graduation party starts at Hy-Vee.
If the high cost of filling up is weighing you down, lighten your load at Hy-Vee. This Saturday and Sunday, get a 30-cent per gallon fuel discount with every $60 purchase. Stock up on groceries and stack up the fuel savings. Earn 30 cents per gallon with your $60 purchase, 60 cents per gallon with a $120 purchase. The more you spend, the more you'll save. Your next fill-up could be free. Don't miss the 2-day Fuel Saver event this weekend only at Hy-Vee.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
As you prepare for your Memorial Day gathering, be sure to visit your local grocery store for Gates sauces and seasonings. Both are great on meats, fish, chicken, broccoli, spinach, hot buttered popcorn, and as a topping for your dips, or sprinkle Gates seasoning on chips and nuts for that extra flavor pop. Also, be sure to pick up a Gates party tray for celebration at the station. However you plan to celebrate, be sure to head to Gates Barbecue this Memorial Day. Gates Barbecue. Thanks with love.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today.
Dial 877-WEB-NOW1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
My dad passed away unexpectedly. Of course, it was awful in every way, but we are very grateful that he had life insurance. So even after he was gone, he was still able to provide for us. And that's why I have life insurance for my family. Ethos.com. They make it fast and easy to get covered. It's 100% online. You get a quote in seconds, and you can apply in minutes. You get covered the same day.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required. Rates may vary.
You know that Chick-fil-A sells more than chicken, right?
Hello, my name is Jaleesa, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit is how it's all of my favorite breakfast items in one good bite. That fluffy egg, that melty cheese with that perfectly grilled sausage. It just gives you that warmth, that comfort food that you love. It is the best possible option for a classic breakfast.
Comfort is calling. Order a Chick-fil-A sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit with Simply Orange Juice on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real guests paid for their testimonial.
Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch all your favorite shows, shorts, and clips. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Hour number 2 here of Cody and Gold. Cody Tapp, Jay Binkley with you. Alex out at least one more day today. Might be back tomorrow. We'll see how he's feeling after his surgery. For those wondering where he's been, he's out after his looks maxing. He's going to have a whole new face for these 4K cameras. Making us look good. Binkley, how do you feel about being in high definition, you know?
It's not bad. The cameras are great. Cameras are great.
They are.
Cameras are great. We need more Drew, though.
More Drew?
More Drew.
Drew's been on the camera before.
I was on the camera yesterday.
You can do 3 screen. You could be there with us.
When we're having a conversation amongst the 3 of us, I think he does.
He could be all 3 right there, especially that last segment.
We're going to let Binkley do trash of the day today. That could be a risk coming up in 20 minutes. And then we'll get the random question of the day.
You're going to put my computer back on for that.
A little bit later on in the show.
Oh.
We'll get to that as well, so we'll figure out which version of that. Drew, I actually need to, you know what? We do all this video stream stuff, and then you guys don't see all the behind-the-scenes stuff. For months, I have tried to play stuff on this computer, and it won't play over just the video stream, Bink. So here's a test for the listening audience out there. Can you hear this?
I'm toasted.
Can you hear that? I can hear it, but can the video stream hear it? Because we were trying to fix the problem. I need to know over on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook if you can actually hear Drew say,
I'm toasted.
Yeah, I'm toasted. Because then we're talking and we're back in business. We'll talk more about some of the rest of this here down the road. Video says we fixed it. Problem solved, Drew.
There you go.
We're back to engineering. Annoyingly, a very simple fix. Let's talk about the Royals, though, as they get ready to take play 3 games against the Chicago White Sox and ideally take 2 of 3. Bink, this is one of those series you have to win. And the reason why is the White Sox record is deceiving. And at some point, you should be taking advantage of the fact that other than they've got a massive power hitter, and there's no denying that this is the kind of team that you should be beating most of the time and have to beat because of the position you put yourself in. So far, they've done an okay job against the division. Now, that's after they got swept by the Detroit Tigers and then eventually just took 2 of 3 of them, so they haven't evened it up with them yet. But I'm just telling you, man, the White Sox, outside of one really good player, are playing above their abilities, and you should be taking advantage of it. They've lost 4 of their last 7, and that was coming off of a 5-game winning streak. So, now against the Angels and against Seattle, it feels like they're gaining confidence. And if you can beat them for 2 out of 3 in this series, I feel like it's your chance, Bink, to not let them gain too much before they realize or think they're better than they are. You know, with bad teams, hope is a very dangerous thing when you convince them that they can hang against the other. Feels like a must-win series, doesn't it, Bink?
It does, and the White Sox are weird. Obviously, you know my feelings with the White Sox last couple of years. They're the feel-good team. The late-night call that you make, the Chicago White Sox, the Royals being 10-3, then 12-1 against them. But they're different. Thought so going into the season. They're spending the money. They have 3 guys with at least 9 home runs. 3 of them. They've got 30 more home runs than they did at this point a season from last year.
Well, they got the MLB home run leader, don't they? Is Morikawa
Morikawa's right there. He's got 15. Judge, I think, has 16.
Okay.
Colson Montgomery has 10, and Miguel Vargas has 9, but they've got like 30 more home runs. So that always makes a team dangerous at that point. They can, you think you got them down, they'll hit that 3-run jack, and all of a sudden you're looking back. But the Royals have not lost a season series, going back to 2020, going back to that weird COVID year. But then the year before that, they had beaten the White Sox. So you go back, 2018 is really, if you take out that COVID year where they played in front of cardboard and everything else.
I went out for a couple of those
2018
games.
where the White Sox actually beat the Royals in a season series. The Royals had that, 24 straight games at Kauffman Stadium.
Yeah.
Looking good. I just think the White Sox are different. I think the White Sox are feeling good about themselves. I know they're looking at the division, where they stand. It's still too early for the White Sox. I do think this is going to be a team to watch either next year or the year after, as far as making a statement in the AL Central. Maybe not winning it, but making a case to get to the postseason, because they are spending that cash.
Not crazy.
That you want teams to do. But it's a team right now that you gotta realize, hey, we're better than this team.
You have the
put our foot down on this team. But that's where they sit. They sit as a roadblock for the Royals. They're actually a viable opponent now for Kansas City.
You have the starting pitching advantage in the next 2 nights after this one. Tonight is kind of the wild card in it. This goes back to any Stephen Kolek start in which they got a decent guy on the other side of the bump. Like Fetty's a decent starter. Makes me feel like if you steal this one, then I'll know you get the series. I need them to take away the Kolek starts. And that's difficult to ask because those used to be Reagan starts, which sadly, largely this year, have been losses for the Royals instead of wins on that end. And they won the last Kolek start, and they won a lot of the ones he made last year all the same. So, it feels like they got to try to get a steal here. But the White Sox are young, and they are talented, and they can hit. So it's going to challenge the Royals' starting pitching probably more than just about anything else.
They're 6th in Major League Baseball in home runs. Again, their power is there.
No, I know. They can hit.
It's one thing they want to get
but
better at,
the
and they
Royals
are.
are 15th. The Royals are 15th to 20. I mean, the Royals aren't as low as you remember. We watched the Royals this year, and we're like, they're not having for that much power. They got plenty of guys going for 20. Plenty of guys vying for that, not top of the league. They don't have any, but that's the difference.
And their team ERA is ahead of the Royals, 2 slots in Major League Baseball.
Is it really? That's a bit surprising.
Yeah, as a team, not breaking it down starters or whatnot. The Chicago White Sox are 18th in team ERA. Royals are 20th, and the Cardinals sit right in between them.
I'm looking at that's strikeouts. I was like, am I looking at a different stat than you? I was like, where are you seeing that number?
Total team ERA.
But also, you and I both know that it's a bit misleading because the Royals pitching staff has been better than 20th. Like it or not, it has certainly been much better than that. And starting pitching usually rules the day, but the Royals starting pitching ERA,
they're 10th.
Because Cole Reagans has struggled and Noah Cameron has struggled. The Royals are lower than they were earlier. Earlier in the year, they're quite a bit lower than they were. And they've got a couple of guys who have massively blown ERAs from an early part of the season where Cruz's got out of control or Falters got high or anything outside of it. But they're also hitting now, and they're able to win in more than one way. That's the one thing that stands out about the Royals, at least a little bit, is that they can win in more than one way now, which is also probably why they're winning more games right now.
I think they're closer than what people realize. It's just starters. Yeah. They're 14th in ERA. Starters.
But their records are close.
And obviously the
run differentials are pretty much the same. Yeah. On paper, the Royals and the White Sox have played the same. That's not crazy for 41 games.
And the bullpen a shade better.
But that's why I also think winning this series is important. Proved it, you have already been around the block a little bit. You were a playoff team 2 years ago. You've been over 500 2 years in a row. You have been a better baseball franchise and team for multiple years in the White Sox. Prove it to them again. You have been. They think that getting a series against the Royals is like beating the Yankees. They've been getting their ass kicked by the Royals. Not beat. The Royals have been taking the White Sox to the woodshed every single day. They just beat them up. Love to. Nothing but the last 2 years.
It's made the difference for getting the playoffs or not.
That's why they were in the playoffs 2 years ago. So that part of it and all that other stuff, it really does play into it. Let's talk a little bit about NFL here before we get to the trash of the day, which I'm going to hand over to Bink today, coming up in about 10 minutes. Then JJ Picollo, the Royals general manager, will join us at 11:30. Stephen A. was on with Carrington Harrison yesterday. If you missed the entire interview, it's up on the podcast page. 965thefan.com. They talked a ton of NBA and some other stuff, and Darren Peterson. One thing did stand out to me, though, And that was his belief in one particular team in the AFC, saying he believes the Broncos are at the top of it.
I'm going to look at the Denver Broncos. I'm going to look at a team that was 4 sacks shy of the all-time single-season sack record by the Chicago Bears in 1984, I believe, when they had about 72. And the Chiefs had, the Broncos had 68. I look at the Broncos right now, and if Bo Nix doesn't get hurt at the end of the divisional playoff game, an overtime win over Buffalo, it's a very, very good chance Denver's in the Super Bowl instead of New England, because you got to believe that Bo Nix would have found a way to get Denver more than 7 points, even though the snow came down in the second half. I just look at Sean Payton and the way he's played that team. I look at the way he's coached that team. Rather, I look at the defense and the way they get after the quarterback. I look at an offense led by Bo Nix, which is not shabby at all. And I just say to myself, they had home field advantage. They should have been to the Super Bowl last year. So why rule them out this year? They can run, they can throw, they can defend, they can get to the quarterback.
Are the Broncos the best team in the AFC?
No.
He said one of the best in the NFL. No?
They're Super Bowl. Vegas doesn't think so either.
What are
Chiefs have better Super Bowl odds than the Broncos. The Broncos, really? Yeah. The Super Bowl favorites are the Rams, Seahawks, Ravens, Bills, Chargers, then the Chiefs, then the Niners, then the Lions, then the Patriots, and the Eagles, then the Broncos.
That far down?
Yes.
I guess what's
on
the
FanDuel.
Then argue against Stephen A. He's not on the show, but you can be like Skip for a minute. Is the throwback last Friday, right, Bink? What's the argument for the Broncos not being the best team in the AFC? They were last year. They still possess an elite level defense. They have a competent head coach. What's your issue with Denver? You just think Bo Nix is no good? You think they don't have enough weapons? The only argument I would say against Denver is I still think their wide receivers are massively overrated as a unit, and I've yet to see them be elite on offense, and defenses sometimes can fade. But I also think the defense is going to fade this year. They're still too young. I think they're still too young to think that that's going to be the case. Other than, I don't know, maybe it won't work out if Sean Payton handed over play calling. But they seem to have all the faith in the world of, it's Davis Webb, right? Isn't that who does it? Who they promoted to do the play calling? Davis Webb?
Oh, is it for a broadcaster? I'm not sure.
No. For the Broncos offensive coordinator. Who did Sean Payton hand?
Davis Webb is the coordinator.
Yeah, that's who he handed off play calling to. So it's like, I don't know. Denver Broncos 19-1. They think they're half the odds. I think they are the best team in the AFC going into the year. I have more questions about New England. I have more questions about Buffalo or Baltimore. New head coaches, new systems. The Chiefs are coming off a 6-win season. I don't know that there aren't more questions. Now, I think they're better than Houston. I think they're better than the Chargers. I don't think they should be below those teams. You know why they're below those teams in the odds, Bink? Because usually regular-ass starting quarterbacks don't win the Super Bowl. Last year, one did. So does that just make it seem less likely to you? Do you think it's less likely that a non-superstar quarterback doesn't win the Super Bowl this year? Because Bo Nix, to me, appears to be a 15th best quarterback in the NFL. And those guys don't win the Super Bowl very often, but one did last year in Sam Darnold. It's not that crazy.
They won because of their defense. And scoring-wise, they were 14th.
That's how the Broncos will
They were
win.
right there in the middle of the pack in the NFL. They're supposed to be better on offense than defense because, of course, Sean Payton, but they're 14th in the NFL. And they're going to have a huge decision to make here coming up to make Bo Nix that franchise guy and pay him like that. Or they win games despite of Bo Nix. When you look at the Broncos, do they win because of Bo Nix or despite him? I would say despite him. Now, he's had some great fourth quarters.
I think he's really good late in games.
How good can the Broncos be?
They're sometimes in games despite him,
Sure.
but they do win some games because of him.
At the end of games.
Late. Yep.
Like that Giants game with that miraculous comeback, that 33-32 game.
Yeah.
It was insane. But the Broncos, if you want to make the case that the ball bounced their way, a lot of people were saying about the Chiefs the year before, the ball bounced their way, but good teams do find a way to win. But the Broncos had a bunch of those as well. As a 10-win team 2 years ago, obviously things went a different direction because they won a lot of those games that could have gone anyway. And I get it. They won those games. It didn't go the other way. But can the Denver Broncos keep parlaying that? Do you trust in Sean Payton? Do you trust in Bo Nix? Jalen Waddle does make a difference. I like that wide receiver addition. Their draft was terrible.
Yeah.
The Broncos didn't draft anybody that scares you whatsoever.
But they did add Jalen Waddle.
That's the biggest difference. Jalen Waddle is a big difference.
Because, Sutton, I've never been a big believer in, and I think that them bringing in Waddle only proves my point. That Sutton is fine. He is an okay NFL wide receiver. But that's really the nicest thing you can say, in my opinion, without inflating what he is. But Jalen Waddle, he's an interesting.
I think the Chargers are actually better than the Broncos
because it just feels like they've got 2 high-end number 2s.
Wait, really?
And no one. You think it's better than the Chargers?
I feel the Chargers are better than the Broncos.
I kind of agree. Well, I don't know. For this year, for the first time in the 6 years of doing this show, we openly mock NFL people. We openly mock NFL people for years.
They split last year.
We openly mocked NFL people for years and years and years for their belief blindly in the Chargers that this was their year and it's all going to come together. I am closer to believing that than I ever have been. That I think the Chargers have positioned themselves incredibly well. I like the makeup of the roster. I like the changes they're going to make on offense to try to protect Justin Herbert.
Like the quarterback better.
It's like I like the quarterback better than Bo Nix. Like in a lot of ways. I do still have questions on defense, though. I don't want to pretend like I don't have questions about their defense and if it can hold up. But I do kind of. I'm a bit of a believer in the Chargers. Sounds like you're on the opposite end of that, Drew.
I think that Denver's better. I just think Denver's better.
Clearly better?
Clear enough that I would just say I could say with confidence now. I think they're better. Just the makeup of the roster is just. They got one of the best offensive lines in football. They got one of the best defenses in football. They've got a wide receiver last year in Jalen Waddle, who some would say you could argue is the top 20 wide receiver. Courtland Sutton probably in that conversation of both being top 20 wide receivers. I just think it's hard to. I think it's difficult to say right now that the Chargers are better.
Would you?
Vegas says they are.
Here's a little.
Yeah, well, Vegas is wrong all the time.
Yeah, they are. Here's a little would you rather for the Chiefs' future in the division. Because somebody from the 9-3 said, Bo Nix is already the worst quarterback in the West. They're already putting Fernando Mendoza above him. Knowing that teams could get it right the next time, would you rather, Fernando Mendoza is a league average to slightly low but league average starting quarterback. So he's Bo Nix, he gets paid, he's their starter for a while, but he's nothing special. Or they bomb the pick. And 3 years from now, 3 years from now, they're back picking top 5 again and choosing another quarterback.
You'd rather Fernando Mendoza's
Bo Nix,
average.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
like
so.
if you're the Chiefs and you have Patrick Mahomes, you'd almost rather the quarterback just be okay.
Yeah.
Like Bo Nixian level of quarterback play is fine with me.
Because then
genuinely.
Because then you'd have a Cleveland Browns, Pittsburgh Steelers situation where
you're stuck in no man's land.
Yeah.
He was Bo Nix accuracy last year, 25th in the NFL in completion percentage. I just look at Bo Nix.
That low?
Well, there were some other quarterbacks thrown in there that didn't
yeah,
play a full season, so it didn't really count. But Bo Nix, do you trust that Bo Nix can do it? And he did have that injury towards the end, didn't play in the AFC title game. Are you trusting that quarterback? Are you trusting if the Denver Broncos emerged as that team? Are you willing to say they're as good as the Bills now with Josh Allen and what he does?
I mean, they
are you
beat
willing
them,
to
so
say
yeah,
they're as good
maybe.
as the Ravens? Well, yes.
The Bills also they didn't.
The Bills shouldn't even been in that game because you should have lost to Jacksonville in week 1.
Yeah, the Bills are really weird to think about just because
I don't know where to put them.
They have Josh Allen,
so they'll win.
They have Josh Allen, so they'll win. The division is but they don't. The defense is fine. The offensive line has kind of always been good. They got one of the best running backs in football. They gave up a lot for DJ Moore. If DJ Moore isn't the goods, then where's your wide receiver room at?
It's still not very good. Even if DJ Moore is like pretty good, it's not very good.
But keep this in mind. 2 seasons ago, Josh Allen was averaging 30 points a game with no weapons on offense.
No, I remember.
Except for the running game. But it was unbelievable what he did.
He was a younger man, and I don't want to
Considering he had
discount
no
James Cook
weapons
as being one of the
in 30 points a game.
Are you one of those people, Bink, that is I don't know. You almost feel bad for Josh Allen. Are you one of those people?
No, actually, I don't. I make fun of Josh Allen all the time.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
I'm
just looking at statistically what he does is when he scores all these points. Now, last year was on a plate for him. It was right there.
Well, Patrick Mahomes has won a Super Bowl with Sky Moore being the one, so it's not like
oh, I know.
You know, like plenty of great quarterbacks have done great things with lack of weapons.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know. Like, is their new coach good? Are the weapons
Who is their coach?
worse?
Is it Joe Brady?
Does their defense? Yeah. Does their defense come back to earth? Like, did we undervalue Sean McDermott's ability to just like Mike McCarthy it right and just win 12 games every year. That's easier said than done. Everybody doesn't win 10 games a year like Mike Tomlin. Some coaches make worse decisions, have worse game plans.
Do the Broncos
put you
beat the
in worse
Bills
spots.
in Buffalo last year? If they played the game in Buffalo, would they have won it? Because the year before it, they kicked their ass.
No, I don't think so. I think
Yeah, I would probably say no.
I'm just not going to choose against Josh Allen against Bo Nix in mini playoff games. Certainly not at home. I will say, I saw the outside of their stadium. It's okay. I wasn't blown away by the new Highmark.
I know there's some. There's only some
basically
asterisks.
in the same spot, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I guess part of it is like, it just looks like a Madden Create-A stadium from the outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like
I have not seen the outside.
I'm pretty
of it
sure
yet.
I made that stadium for the Chiefs in like Madden 2004. Just like a white circle on the outside.
Yeah, I
the
haven't-
generic part of it.
Well, I know there's
haven't
only
seen the
some
new one.
asterisks when you look at teams. You say, well, Sam Darnold won with the Seahawks, so Bo Nix can win with the Broncos. True, but I think we forget how good that offense was in Seattle.
Yeah, that's also
Seattle
one of the
was-
number one wide receivers in football.
They had the number one. JSN had the most yards of any receiver, but Seattle was third in the NFL in points per game. They're 28.4 points a game. So Seattle, despite we talk about their defense all the time, the offense was third in points scored. They could score.
That's very true. All right, Bink, I said I'd let you have the reins. So, Drew, let's get to it.
Trash of the day.
Well, Drew said that he watched this video yesterday. And
I think we've all seen this video, yeah?
Cody is. I
had not seen it until this morning.
Oh, really? This morning was the first time that you
It's
saw
a video that went around. It was a horse laying on the ground that was clearly bloated. And the horse trainer went around kind of pushing the sides on it. This is directly from the video, pushing the sides on it. And then the horse stepped back from the horse.
I've got the audio ready if you want to.
Oh, you want to be a player? You got to play
It doesn't matter. He's ready either way.
Okay.
I've got it ready.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Drew. Impressive.
Bink said it was the most impressive fart he's ever
If
heard.
that
That's why I wanted
horse
to
ever
play it.
did that before the Kentucky Derby,
You are the
100%
only-
betting on that horse. No, seriously, that was like the most impressive thing. Even better than Mr. Methane. Remember him when he used to do like songs?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, you haven't seen Mr. Methane or whatever?
I don't know who that
He's
is.
He's all over YouTube and everything. He farts the songs. He does songs.
What is he called?
Mr. Methane. Methane.
Mr. Methane?
It's probably been like 10 years ago or something, but he was real popular there for a while. But he does fart songs. And so he takes a song and
Cody, I can guarantee you your songs are better
Fart it out.
than
Mr. Methane.
Yes, correct.
Man,
Yes.
I hope so.
Can you pull it up, Drew, on YouTube? Mr.
Yeah,
Methane,
yeah,
one of the
just
songs?
just
It's gotta
give
be
me a
too
minute.
Cody
hard.
likes to sing.
I believe you.
Cody
I
likes
like
to
to
sing.
sing. I don't like to fart my songs.
But it's a
Slightly
funny,
different
But
energy.
that horse, I mean, it's got to be true because horses will do that. I mean, they will. That was just like one of the most impressive videos I've seen.
The
I was
horse
like,
looked
are you
really
kidding me?
uncomfortable for a
He
minute.
did. It was bloated.
I've got one.
Oh, you got a song for Mr. Methane?
Yeah, you want to hear it?
Yeah, I do.
I'm done. I'm done.
He does a lot of songs.
People still trying to eat lunch today.
He's got a
Are
Christmas
these
album
the
too.
things? Are these the things that you like YouTube, Bink? When you're bored, do you look this stuff up?
Who doesn't think farts are funny, man? They are funny. If you think
I won't deny
okay.
that. Farts are funny.
They're incredibly funny.
They're funny, but there comes a point where it's just it's way too much.
Yeah, an entire song is where I think I draw the line. Personally.
But that horse, were you guys weren't impressed with that? I mean,
Personally.
that was.
Bink, I don't get impressed by people passing gas.
I'm more impressed by that
it's a
horse
natural thing. It's
than
like,
the
man, you were
Broncos.
really bloated. Like, I'm glad you got that cleared out of your system.
I'm more impressed by that horse than Bo Nix.
Someone
Wow, that's
thinking
saying
it
something.
might have just been you, Bink, actually, and it wasn't the horse. It was just you ripping a new one.
No, they're funny, and people say they're not funny. It's the same people say they don't pee in a pool. It's funny, and I mean, I guess maybe if you're on an elevator, getting ready to get on an elevator, and
Yeah,
somebody
it's not
gets
funny in
off,
that
and
situation.
then you're in a situation where you're stuck on the elevator. But if somebody you know is just sitting there and just lets one out, it's funny.
Yeah.
I used to have a fart machine that was remote controlled.
Oh.
And I could
Carry
take
it around?
I could take it and like put it in your pocket, like your jacket. I could put it in there. You had no idea, and I'd sit over here and push it a bunch of times, and you'd be like, "What's wrong with my chair?" Or whatever. You'd be doing that, but I could do that sound from here. I've done that in movie
surprise me at all,
theaters.
Meg.
I've done it in everything.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Because it's funny.
Someone said that sounded like a chainsaw.
You can catch the video on social media. It was a horse.
It was
It was a real horse.
Very impressive.
When we come back, the Royals general manager and president of baseball ops, JJ Picollo, will join us. We'll talk more Royals next.
You're listening to Cody and Gold. Tune in for the Chiefs Red Half Hour every day, starting at 11:30 right here on your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
I'm worried. Since your accident, we've got medical bills and you're missing work.
I know. I just don't know where to start.
We call SWL Injury Law the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do.
If they can help us get through this.
We've helped people just like you recover what they deserve. Visit us at SWL Injury Law today for your free consultation. We're the Car Crash Kings. It's what we do.
Visit SWLinjuryLaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
The playoff push is here. NBA teams are deep in the stretch run, and Fanatics Sportsbook is ready for every moment. Here's the deal. You guys have heard me talk about Fan Cash, and remember, every time you bet with Fanatics Sportsbook, you're earning up to 10% Fan Cash, win or lose. So even if your bet misses, you're still stacking Fan Cash. Fan Cash unlocks value you can't get at other sportsbooks, like more bets, unlimited profit boosts for your favorite player props, authentic NBA gear, game tickets, and access to exclusive Fanatics events like Fanatics Fest in New York City. But that's not their only play. The good times roll on with Fanatics Fair Play, an injury protection policy that turns losses into wins. That's right. If you love player props, your legs are protected across the entire first half of every game if an injury takes place. If your guy goes down, you're getting your money back or your parlay plays on. Make the switch to the sportsbook that gives you more to play with. Winning hits different here.
Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-MY-RESET.
New treatments for joint pain are here. By now you've heard about regenerative medicine. If you're wondering if you're a good candidate, answer these questions. First, does chronic pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, or other joints keep you from doing the things you enjoy? Golfing, jogging, time with the family. Does it hurt doing the things you need to do, like getting out of bed, sleeping, working, and walking? And finally, do you want to avoid surgery and all of the pain, long recovery, and uncertainty that comes with it? If you answered yes to any of those, you need to call QC Kinetics now. Learn about exciting advancements in regenerative treatments that can give you long-lasting pain relief with no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. Get your free consultation today. Call QC Kinetics. That's QC Kinetics. Here's the phone number.
Call now, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299.
When Bill Lambert started Midwest Heating, he realized something very quickly. The most important thing a customer can give you isn't their money, it's their trust. I'm Airman for Midwest Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Midwest and Lennox are now offering up to $1,400 rebates on high-efficiency home comfort systems and 0% 60-month financing with approved credit on these qualifying Lennox systems. Every day, we strive to meet the highest standards in the industry, yours. But we are human. If we make a rare mistake, we make it right, and right away. That's what Bill instilled in all of us. Now, the third generation stands on the shoulders of the past, improves on it, and passes it on to the next. Give us the chance to earn your business. Just dial 943-8787 or go to MidwestHeating.com. Trust your air to the best. Midwest. Midwest Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Save $2 when you buy 2 cans of Superior Products Coverall Tire Dressing. Plus, get 4 times O-Rewards points now at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast.
Pump up the volume.
When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis, which causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling? Does this sound like you? Listen to what it sounds like to be a million miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy, and for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being a million miles away. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Visit Tremfya.com or call 1-800-526-7736.
Royals coverage is brought to you by Peter's Clothiers. Need a new suit? This week only, Peter's Clothiers is taking half off all Jack Henry suits. Choose from a selection of colors, styles, and sizes at Peter's Clothiers. But hurry, this sale ends soon. Half off Jack Henry suits only at Peter's Clothiers, 124th and State Line Road.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Rob Brennan. We hope you're enjoying Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's biggest sporting event. It's presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. New episodes released every Wednesday on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Back in here on Cody and Gold, 96.5 The Fan. You can catch us on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook. Brand new cameras, so looking all shiny and fresh for you, at least on that. And normally this is the Chiefs Red Half Hour, but we're going to head out and talk some Royals with Royals General Manager, President of Baseball Operations, JJ Picollo, who is in Chicago. JJ, are you in Chicago right now?
Yeah. Getting ready to go to the ballpark here soon.
When you look at, I guess, where the Royals are at this stage, I don't imagine you're disappointed in a 4-3 homestand that includes two of the teams who are ahead of you in the standings. But did you in any way feel the way we did at the beginning, where when you get those first two games, you start daydreaming about 5-2 or catching up with more games? Do you find yourself doing that, or have you just been around baseball too long to get caught into that trap?
No, I don't even consider daydreaming. You win the first two games, you have a chance to sweep. You split the first two. Now you're trying to get the win on the last game to win the series. But when you win the first two, you certainly want to sweep the series because it's a great opportunity. And we didn't capture it. So it is a bit disappointing. But bigger picture, going 4-3 against two pretty good teams in our division, that's a win for us. So we can't lose sight of the fact that it was a good homestand. It just had a chance to be a great homestand. But it's done. It's over with, and now you move on and you play good tonight against Chicago.
JJ, when you look at the White Sox, how much different is this team this year compared to last year? It seems like the power numbers way up for this team. They've been spending money, obviously 3 guys with more than 9 home runs, but it seems like the White Sox are going to be a player in this division in the future.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Actually, talking to some of our players last year at the end of the season and talking about our division, a couple players pointed out that they thought Chicago was clearly better last year and a team we're going to need to worry about. Then they went out and signed a few guys, and obviously, but they're moving in the right direction. That's where I think our division can be really interesting overall.
The division itself, it already has been interesting. JJ, you guys are obviously really tight.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, so basically you're talking about a lot of 500 teams right now. So if you're going to be a 500 team the entire year, you're going to be in it at the end, but you may not separate yourself. So at some point, and hopefully it's us, somebody separates himself from the pack. All things considered, with the tough losing streak we had in there, we had an opportunity to be 20-20 after 40, which would have been more of a moral victory. We ended up not doing that, but in the end, with an 8-game losing streak, I think our team showed some really good character to get back to respectability. I think 500 is the bare minimum that we feel like we can do. If we're not playing well, we should still be around 500. But obviously the goal is to play really well and at some point really catch your stride and get going and be clicking on all cylinders. And the team that does that in its division is going to take off, and there's been some interesting things over the last 2 years, kind of the flip-flop of Cleveland and Detroit from one year to the next. One went on a great run, and then one crashed, and vice versa. You can see those things happening. But you play 500 baseball for a good portion of the year, but then you have a good, especially like, say, 2 months, you're going to put yourself in a really good position. The other part of it is you want to be playing well going into the end of the season, and carry that momentum, into the playoffs. So, right now it's one day at a time, one step at a time. We're showing signs of it. I heard something the other day. I think we have the most comeback wins in baseball, which kind of caught me off guard. But that's kind of interesting, and it says something about resiliency, but it also says something about our own internal expectations. So it's great that we've had some comeback wins, but our expectations are greater than the way we've performed so far.
I want to talk about some of the other guys in the field, including Salvador Perez and Carter Jensen. One on Salvi. Seems like obviously he hasn't been catching quite as much. Where is he health-wise? Do you guys get any sense that maybe the bat's coming around? Like I've said before, JJ, like I largely am very patient with Salvi because I've seen this a lot in his career. But is he health-wise, is he okay? Do you think you'll get back to a 50-50 split with him and Carter? How do you kind of envision, I guess, the rest of the season now that you're currently carrying 3 catchers?
Yeah, I think the first thing is we got to get Salvi back to the point where he can catch at least 3 days a week before we can get, away from a 3-catcher situation. We're not there yet. I don't know, how Salvi feels today, but we felt like somewhere in this week he'll be able to start catching again. We took advantage of, the Monday off day by giving him off on Sunday. And that's all an effort to just put him in the best physical health we can possibly put him in. He's not going to be 100%. Very rarely in the time I've known Salvi has he been 100%, which kind of, is part of his, legacy. He just plays, and it's great. But when Salvi's at his best, it's when he's catching enough and he's getting enough time off of his legs for the bat to be consistent and be strong and be good throughout the year. But Salvi's got he probably is the best perspective of anybody I've ever been around. He knows who he is, and he knows he goes through the periods of time where he's not hitting well, but he also knows he's going to go on a 3-week run. And at the end, he believes his numbers are going to be there, and historically speaking, his numbers have been there. So, that's where it's nice to have a veteran who knows what he is, who he is, and what he's capable of doing. And then we just got to help out by putting him in the best position to perform by balancing the catching and the DH days, throughout the year. So the injury aside, I think once he's healthy, you'll see him catching, back more to that 50-50. And early on, he caught more than 50-50 just because of the way some off days fell, and it just didn't quite work out that way. But I could see 50-50 just to keep him healthy and get the production out of his bat. Not only his bat, but also Carter. Carter catches a lot. It's going to take a toll on his bat. So we do need that balance from both guys.
Do you, like with Carter, I've heard Q say that he thinks he's a really diligent worker as it relates to getting better behind the dish. There's been some questions about pass balls or some of that, JJ. How much, how confident, I guess, are you guys as an organization that Carter will continue to get better behind the dish?
Extremely confident. I think what he's going through are just some, young player type of mistakes, lapses in focus. Nobody probably remembers this, but we had very similar things happen with Bobby, his first year, trying to make every play and not making great decisions. And once he matured and understood, how to stay focused and what the moment is, he became a Gold Glove shortstop. Now, not saying that we expect Carter necessarily to become a Gold Glove catcher, but we certainly expect that the growing pains and being a young player, he'll grow out of that, and he's going to be a really good catcher.
JJ, is Bobby Witt Jr., is he quietly having one of his best years? You think about this guy, he's leading. I know the stats aren't going to blow people away at some point, but you look into it, he leads Major League Baseball in WAR. And every time, every series this guy does something, I mean, is this guy still getting better and better every day in front of your eyes?
It's really, I find interesting right now. So, the fact that he's leading Major League Baseball in WAR, I believe he's on track to have a greater amount of WAR at the end of the season than he did the year he almost won the MVP. But we also know that Bobby is just playing solid, quietly, really good baseball. But the explosiveness and, the homers and more doubles and all that stuff, it's going to come. So it's kind of scary to think about, where he's playing good baseball, which actually translates to great baseball. Still think there's more in there. There's going to be more, but it also speaks to how much he can impact the game, both on the bases, in the field, and in the batter's box. When you can do all three of those things, that war is going to drive north, and that's certainly what he's doing now. And I think it's just going to keep climbing. It's just a special player that we get to see every day, and you don't even realize sometimes how much he's impacted the game because he does it in such a consistent fashion. It's just neat to see.
JJ, you guys play, like, the home runs are up this season versus where they were last year. You guys have more power, but it's like everyone's just kind of like stuck in the same spot. Like, everyone's on pace to hit 20. Jack and Carter and Bobby and Vinny, like, I guess to that same point with Bobby Witt Jr., you guys still hoping that at some point this team's going to get on a run where the power potential of this team seems about as great as it has been in a number of years?
Yeah, I think that'll come around. We'd love to have, 9 guys or so, let's say 7 guys with 20 homers. That'd be great. But we have guys that are capable of hitting 30 or more. So Vinny's capable of doing it. Salvy's capable. Bobby's capable. Mike Hell's could be in the 20s. So we have some guys that are really capable of doing more. But, again, going to use the word consistency again. The more consistent we are, the better off we're going to be in the long run. So it's good that, we got more guys that are hitting for more power, and we're trending in the right direction. But we do know we have a couple guys in there that are going to hit more. And that's not even talking about the young guys that we know are capable of hitting, 25 plus. It's just a matter of when do they do it in Cags and Carter, but they're capable of doing it as well.
You guys have Stephen Kohler going tonight because Cole Reagans had to go to the IL about a week ago or so. I guess where are things with him? Obviously, that kind of injury, as you know, with Giordano or some others who have had it, depends on the pitcher. So, optimistic still that it might be a short version for Cole Reagans, or do you guys think he's going to need more time?
Yeah, no, we're optimistic it'll be short. When we decided to put him on the IL, we felt like it was going to be basically the 15 days, talked about throwing play. He's already started to throw again, so it's not like he's not playing catch. He's playing catch. He'll progress to the mound here within the next couple of days, and, that ideally we get him out on a rehab assignment, sometime in the next 7 to 8 days so he can make that start when he's ready to come off of the IL. But so much of it just depends on how he progresses through this week. But the feeling was that it was going to be short term. Our medical staff is really good. They know Cole's body very well. They think he's going to respond exceptionally well to the injection and the time off and get back on track quickly.
I will say, back on the other end, Noah Cameron is someone you would need more if Cole Reagans is going to miss time. I've seen some stuff on arm slot or velocity. What do you guys think it is with Noah Cameron right now that's not equaling the same amount of success he had last year?
Yeah, well, one, I think the tempo in his delivery is a little quick, and I think that's leading some command issues. But the other thing is he was throwing a lot of fastballs, more fastballs than he did last year. So there's a real conscious effort this last start to throw more off-speed pitches so teams would get off of his fastball. So much of what needs to happen, though, is throwing strike one because he has the ability to expand with the changeup, the curveball, the slider, and now, the cutter as well. He has a lot of options, a lot of pitches, a lot like Lugo and Waka. But if you don't throw strike one, then you kind of paint yourself in a box. And, throwing strike one consistently is a big key for any pitcher. But, it seems to affect Noah a little bit more, probably because his room for error is not as great as some others. He's more of a finesse, touch and feel type of pitcher. He's got enough power, but he's going to rely on soft contact quite a bit. And, to get that soft contact, you need the hitter on their heels. And when he gets them on their heels, he's going to get soft contact, and he'll get deeper into games and be a more productive starting pitcher, which we've seen him do.
One more question on the standings, JJ. I do find this interesting, and a lot of people don't realize it. The White Sox are actually a playoff team right now. The White Sox are a third wild card. The Royals just a half game back. I don't think people realize they're just a half game back from the wild card. And I kind of want to know your perspective, JJ, when you look at the front office and how you think of things. I'm just curious how the American League looks at things. 'Cause only 4 games back. Houston's in last. They're only 4 games back from a wild card. But when you got all these teams right there, and you're looking at teams, who's going to make moves, who's not going to make moves, I think this is going to be a crazy summer because theoretically, every single team in the American League has a chance.
There's no question about it, and I can't figure out, why is there a disparity between the records in the National League and the American League. I can't quite figure that out, other than it's a quarter of the season. It'll play out, but what it does, the sort of the snowball effect is when every team thinks they're in it, the trade deadline becomes kind of interesting. It's going to be sort of stagnant because if you're a 500 team and you're in it, you're going to look to acquire more than likely. Especially, if you believe in what your team's doing, you're going to look to acquire. But if too many teams are looking to acquire, the supply of players to help those teams get better goes down because they're keeping their players. So it could have a great effect on the trade deadline. And, but the interesting thing is there's been two pretty significant trades made so far. You had the Guardians acquire a catcher from the Giants, and then today, the Diamondbacks and Dodgers made a deal. So, it's just one of those things we have to do our work and speaking with other clubs and communicating so what might be happening along the way. But they were two pretty big trades, or what we call significant trades being made, really, what's today, May 12th? We've had two significant trades already. So I find that kind of interesting as well.
Has anybody made you a trade offer yet?
No, not yet. We're going to stay on the phones and keep working and see what evolves. But I think teams are in that stage right now. Like, what do we really have in our team, and how do we make good decisions come early July, late June, so we know which direction we're going by the deadline.
Feels like if you're trying to buy this early, JJ, you got to be the one calling them maybe too,
Yeah, you got to have specific need, and I think that's a little bit of what we saw in both of those trades. There was a need, and teams were able to find a partner and make a good trade.
Appreciate the call, JJ, as always. We like your time, and I guess hopefully have fun in Chicago as the Royals try to get the series against the Sox.
Sounds good, guys.
That's JJ Picollo, the Royals GM and general manager and president of baseball ops, joins us on the show every other week. The Bobby stuff, we talked about that yesterday.
Yeah.
It is weird because most people who aren't in Kansas City are like, has Bobby done something spectacular? He's like, he leads baseball in WAR because he is the most consistent player at all spots.
Yeah, he's the actual leader now. Yesterday he was tied. Today he's actually the leader.
Okay, so but more interesting even than that. Someone's had a bad game. Is they do have for these next few weeks, they're going to have to win games while having their fifth starter, who pitched much better than that last year, find his way through struggles in Noah Cameron, and do it without their presumed ace to start the season, Cole Reagans. And so, it's going to be harder than you would normally think. It's why if there's a win streak in the Royals team, I don't think it's now. I don't think it's while Salvador Perez is cold and Noah Cameron is off and Cole Reagans isn't available. The winning streak, I think, comes at a later point. The two things that are really humming right now is Bobby Witt Jr. is awesome, but it'll be awesome all the time.
Yep.
That doesn't change in a month. Bobby Witt Jr. is always great, Bink. And so that part of it, I guess, I still think will come around. But they got to get Noah Cameron. They got to get Kolek pitching well. They got to get Reagans back. Even more than the bullpen resolving some of its issues, man, they got to find a way to, balance out some of that rotation.
No, you did with this American League, as I said, to JJ, it's insane. The Red Sox had a terrible year, right? 2 games out from the wild card.
Yeah.
If I would have said to you, on May 11th, the Chicago White Sox right now are a playoff team.
What
would you? that's the craziest thing about it.
They're not a bad team.
No, they're not. But I'm going to say it's funny. But the White Sox, today's game is actually for a playoff position. I know we're in May. I know it's ridiculous to talk about, but theoretically, with the Royals a half game back from the White Sox, and the White Sox holding the third wild card, and the Royals just being a half game back, do the math on that. The Royals could be in as bad as they play, and as even 500. You want to get them back to 500. At the end of the night, the Royals could be a wild card team as we sit, which is insane.
Yeah, no.
It's insane to say the White Sox are currently a playoff team.
I know, but the Royals were in a playoff spot a couple days ago. No one in the American League's any good, or at least not at the moment.
4 games separates the Houston Astros and Angels tied for the worst.
Now the Astros just lost Correa, so they're probably in a bit of a pickle.
Now the National League has 6 teams that are more than 4 games back from a wild card.
There's a huge difference. The National League has some bad teams. The Mets being one of them, which makes no sense. The Rockies have crashed back to earth, and then a number of other, I would call, mediocre teams or underperforming teams. The problem in the National League, and this is at least still the good side of the conference you're in, is the National League is good and full of good teams. But the Royals are going to face a lot of those teams. A playoff team of the right now, the White Sox, they face for the next 3 games. A playoff team as of right now, the Cardinals, they face here coming up. The Seattle Mariners in a playoff spot as it sits right now. These are all teams that are on the Royals schedule the rest of the month. I think that is why we talk about so much where inside of this it's still going to go. And, you got to find out which version of it they're going to play with the rest of the way. I know this is normally the time we do the Chiefs Red Half Hour. We're going to get back to the Chiefs and their schedule. Coming up in 9 minutes, we had JJ Picollo, obviously, at a slightly different time today. People are always asking, Chiefs Red Half Hour, Bink, that is fire in, ask text. They just say, how do you feel about right tackle on the Chiefs? Does it concern you guys? I mean, a little. Jalen Moore is not perfect, but also I don't think they need a perfect right tackle because I think they might be great at left guard, center, right guard, and pretty good at left guard. So I guess I'm not panicked about right tackle. It's lower on my list of concerns, Bink.
Depth concerns me. Especially if
swing tackle? Hell yeah.
Well, think about this.
They've needed the swing tackle.
Just think about scenarios where you always got a plan for. Something happens to Simmons at left tackle. Then all of a sudden you're moving Jalen Moore from right tackle back over to left tackle. Then all of a sudden you're sitting in a situation as Wanye Morris, Asa Polle. Who do you trust to be at the right tackle if you have to move Jalen Moore? Or are you 100% sold that Jalen Moore's the guy? Jalen Moore had a couple of nice starts there for the Chiefs. I mean, he's okay. Wasn't great last year. But do you trust that? Would that trust if you all of a sudden you had to move Jalen Moore back to left tackle for a couple of games? Where would you say? Depth concerns me. Not having Jalen Moore be perfect if he wasn't starting and could swing to left tackle or right tackle wherever we're at.
Yeah,
so that's a concern.
If you're having to move him to left tackle, though, it's not even that Jalen Moore is left tackle. Apart. It's that Josh Simmons isn't playing left tackle. That will be the concern.
Look, they can't afford any tackle injuries this year based on the way it's currently set.
Was it Wanye?
If they're healthy, I have no problems. If you're saying, do I wish they had one more tackle? Because for the last, I'd have to look. It genuinely feels like it's been 5 years in a row the Chiefs have needed a swing tackle for at least a game or two, if not a much longer stretch of time. Going back to the Bucs Super Bowl. When Cam Irving, didn't he start a tackle for a game?
Yeah, they needed a left tackle.
He might have started a tackle in the Super Bowl.
For 9 games last year. So majority of the games they needed a left tackle.
Now, not all injury. A chunk of that was Simmons just being gone.
But he missed
9 games. I know, but I assume he's not going to miss as many this year, I guess. Or at least that's my assumption based on the idea that
you always have to plan for it because the guy has missed 19 games his last 2 years if you go back to Ohio State.
Oh, if he gets hurt this year, I've already said it. Drew, we talked about this. If Joshua Simmons gets hurt this year, he's injury prone. If Joe Burrow gets hurt this year, he's injury prone. You don't get to go 3 years in a row at any level and not get dinged with that. Or Joe Burrow maybe already put on the list. But,
he might already be
Simmons, it's like he missed a chunk of his senior year. He missed a chunk of this year for injury, in fairness, for surgery at the end of the year, not just the time he missed for personal reasons. If he misses times again, he's an injury-prone player. That doesn't mean you can't be great. Trenton Williams, I would argue, at times has been a bit injury-prone. He misses some games. Yeah. He misses some time.
Well, you also know he's a Hall of Famer.
But he's also the best left tackle in football, so it doesn't,
Well, that would be only concern. Unless you're totally not sold that Jalen Moore is the guy and there was an injury where either he got hurt or he had to go back to left tackle for a few games. I mean, yes, depth would be
in terms of individual. If we're talking about individual positions, though, I'm more concerned about edge rusher than I am right tackle.
Oh,
not because of a personnel thing, more just so production.
I guess
because you don't know. I think is like Jalen Moore. We know he can at least be serviceable enough. It sounds like where also for having 4 out of the 5 offensive linemen be as good as they are, they're going to be fine.
I guess
I don't. I'm more concerned if we're talking individual positions at edge, safety.
I guess the difference is they got the top end ability of the offensive line is better than the defensive line, but they got bodies.
Don't you think our Mason's
somebody disappoints, somebody doesn't, they got bodies and numbers to run at it. They do not have that on the offensive line, so it kind of prevents.
And someone that's coming back is very good pass rusher, although it's from the interior is Omar Norman Lott.
Yeah.
Not from the outside, but from the interior, so you get more push in the middle.
Absolutely. When we come back, we'll get you what's trending and tell you what's going on around sports, but also the Chiefs are going to open up their season against the Denver Broncos. We do not know where yet. I'd want to know where you prefer. Plus, does this say anything about Patrick Mahomes?
You're listening to Cody and Gold. Tune in to hear Royals insider Josh Vernier every Wednesday at 12:30. Cody and Gold is brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. Your home for Royals baseball. 96.5, The Fan.
FanDuel is giving you better payouts on same-game parlays all NBA playoff long. With more ways to build and more value every time you play, you can stack your picks your way for every game, every matchup, and every moment. From spreads to player points to threes and more, build it all into one same-game parlay and go for bigger payouts. So if you're betting same-game parlays this NBA postseason, bet them on FanDuel. More options, better payouts, all NBA playoffs long. Head to FanDuel.com/local to get started. That's FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel puts player research right at your fingertips so you can check stats, trends, and matchups all in one place and make your picks with confidence. It's everything you need all in one app. So don't miss your shot. Head to FanDuel.com/local and bet your same-game parlays. FanDuel, an official partner of the NBA. Play your game. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 in President, Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Performance matters in intimate moments. Don't let ED ruin them. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and I want to assure you that if you're like the vast majority of guys, you don't have to suffer with ED anymore. In fact, you might be pleasantly surprised at how the right treatments could positively impact your love life. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical therapies go far beyond pills. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, and we offer specific and combinative treatments that can dramatically enhance both your performance and your stamina. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a far greater level of intimacy to both you and the one you love, perhaps performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and find out why our advanced treatment strategies offer so much more. Your first visit is just $99 and gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. Heartland Men's Health, advanced medical science to improve men's lives.
Graduation season is the busiest time of the year, and you want it to be perfect, so you need to trust Hy-Vee with your important celebrations like we do. Choose from a wide range of budget-friendly catering options like the classic grill out for just $7 per person or the high chai Asian buffet for just $14 per person. And don't forget the personalized baked goods, flowers, and more. Leave all the prep work and messy cleanup to Hy-Vee with full-service catering for any size celebration. So sit back and relax. Your perfect graduation party starts at Hy-Vee.
If the high cost of filling up is weighing you down, lighten your load at Hy-Vee. This Saturday and Sunday, get a 30-cent per gallon fuel discount with every $60 purchase. Stock up on groceries and stack up the fuel savings. Earn 30 cents per gallon with your $60 purchase, 60 cents per gallon with a $120 purchase. The more you spend, the more you'll save. Your next fill-up could be free. Don't miss the 2-day Fuel Saver event this weekend only at Hy-Vee.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Spreadsheets, clunky software, 100 different logins just to run your business? Ah.
There's a better way. Odoo. One simple, connected platform that handles sales, inventory, accounting, and more, so you can focus on growing, not juggling. Make the switch today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Get a $15 O'Reilly gift card after rebate when you buy 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Did you hear? Allstate car insurance now costs even less. So when you bundle with home, you can save even more. Check Allstate first to bundle and save with a new lower auto rate. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings may vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Follow the station on Instagram for daily videos like the Royal Decree, Chiefs Take Tuesday, and Would You Rather Wednesday. This is Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan, KFMC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station. What's trending?
Cheddar, mozzarella, Havarti. Number one on What's Trending, the Chiefs will open up their season on Monday Night Football on September 14th against the Denver Broncos. No site for that game has yet to be listed by either. People speculating because in the graphic, the Chiefs are in the road jersey. Some people think maybe Denver deserves to have it at their home stadium first because they beat the Chiefs 2 times last year and were the better team. Other people obviously speculating what it means for Mahomes. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a few minutes, but we at least know one game on the Chiefs schedule. The first one, Monday Night Football standalone, coming up on September 14th.
Yeah, I'm not buying into the whole deserved it thing.
Chiefs earned what? 1 year? The Chiefs have been...
The Chiefs went to 3 straight Super Bowls and played in Brazil on opening night. So I'm not buying into that. Now,
on a road divisional game. Oof.
The Royals are off that Monday night game.
Yeah, they are.
And by the way, the Rockies do play in Denver that same night at 6:40. It's a night game. That would have to be moved up, you would think, to an earlier game, to a day game, if they wanted to deal with Major League Baseball.
Unless they want them at the same time, we'll see.
So that is interesting what would happen as far as that's concerned. But the Royals are off that day. Speaking of the Royals, back in action tonight against the Chicago White Sox in Chicago. Oh, the wild card current Chicago White Sox right now. The Royals are a half game back from the wild card. I know it's May 11th. It's way too early to start talking about that. But it is reality. The White Sox in that third wild card in the American League. Kolek on the mound for the Royals.
Next up on What's Trending, UMKC basketball expected to announce this afternoon a return to Municipal Auditorium again.
Good.
They did this a few years ago. The crowds didn't exactly show up because the team wasn't very good. Now with their resurgence, we hope, under Mark Turgeon, they're heading back to Muni. They're going to put some work into it, according to the reports. I think it's expected around 2 or 3 today. They'll make that announcement official. But UMKC basketball expected to play at Municipal Auditorium this upcoming basketball season, Drew. They're not even going to, it's not even going to be Swinney Rec for the year. They're just going to go straight to Muni this season.
It feels like that, not that was a requirement from Mark Turgeon.
It pretty much was a requirement.
It feels like something like like if I'm coming to coach there, I'm not coaching.
I can't have a track around the basketball field.
Correct.
Yeah, I get it. Muni's still kind of beat up, but there's definitely worse places you could play.
Do you get the season pass as an instructor?
I don't. I still got to pay for basketball tickets like everyone else. But at the very least, if you're a student, you can take the streetcar from UMKC down to Muni.
Contract?
No, they didn't put that. They don't just. They just tell me what they're paying me, Bink. It's not like negotiable. It's just a number.
I mean, you would think basketball games would be free.
I would think that they would let me in some basketball games, but at the moment, that's not included in my salary.
Besides the UMKC.
If you're listening, UMKC, I would take 2 free season tickets.
Well, they gave you a 50-yard line for the football team the whole year.
Yeah. It was very generous of them.
Very generous.
I'll do a soccer game last year, so, that version of it.
The NHL playoffs, Avalanche win 5-2, up 3-1 the series over the Wild. Sabres, Canadian, and Ducks, Golden Knights tonight, as we have 2 games back in the NHL tonight.
You have to split screen it, Bink. Watch the Royals game and the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs, so see what it is. Next up on What's Trending, Major League Baseball and the Players Association are currently holding their first official collective bargaining talk before the expiration of the CBA on December 1st, according to Jeff Passan over at ESPN. The opening presentations are reportedly basic overviews of each side's position as they set up long bargaining road ahead. So the first of hopefully many. This is the thing that always gets me about collective bargaining. Everybody thinks baseball is going to hold out. everybody thinks that they're gonna lock each other out, that there might be missed games, all this other stuff. Why the hell didn't they just talk sooner? It's not like they could have met 6 months ago. They could have met 2 years ago.
Well, it's like
why the hell did they
finally
wait
didn't-
until May of that year, knowing that it's all going to go up in smoke in December 1st?
Well, at least
and
the
this one's like a
NFL
base meeting. But
At least they got the
started.
refs thing figured out.
Yeah, at least they got the
But they
refs
could have
thing.
started earlier.
So we'll take our win. That's what's trending here on Cody and Gold. Coming up in about 20 minutes, we'll get you another random question today and take a look at what it'll take for the Royals in order to be in the record run it would have taken to make the playoffs at least last season. But we found out earlier today before the show started, as announced on the Today Show from Joe Buck, Kansas City's favorite, Joe Buck, that the Chiefs will open up their season against the Broncos. So before we talk about the Mahomes part, which I think is obvious, it is either one of two things. The NFL wants to squeeze every last it could be both, every last conceivable drop out of the national pundits sitting around a table, this show, sitting around looking at each other and saying, will Mahomes be ready for week 1? Which this is certainly going to do an excellent job of that because they're going to play Monday Night Football on ESPN. Or they are incredibly confident that Mahomes will be ready for week 1. Before we get to that, just real quick, which would you prefer? The Chiefs open up the season on the road against Denver or at home against Denver, knowing that you're in the spot of guessing if Mahomes will be available? And because of that, Bink, and because I think it's a hard game to win even with Mahomes, I'll take the road game. If it's Justin Fields, do I give him a great chance to win? No. If it's Mahomes, do I give him a great chance to win? Better, obviously, but there's still some chances. But I'd rather save that home game, the must-win, for later in the year. And if by some chance you steal the road Broncos game to start the season, that's going to tone set the rest of the year. Even if Mahomes plays and they lose, no one will look at the Chiefs and be like, well, now they can't do it this year. But like, yeah, they lost a road game to a divisional opponent with Mahomes barely coming off the injury. Nobody will think anything of it. Home game feels different. Feels like it's a slip away one, Bink. Like if I got to choose, I'd choose the road game. Everyone doesn't agree with me, but that's what I'd choose.
No, I'd probably choose it too. You get that division win on the road, get the Broncos later in the season.
If you steal it, you feel
But
great.
here's the other factor. You have Andy Reid, Spags, and company with one focus all summer long. You know how damn good he is when he has 1 week for a bye week, right? Andy Reid coming off a bye week, you know how good he is at that point. Like his preparation for his team, how prepared they are when they take that bye week and play. And now you have until September 14th. So you've got the rest of May, all of June, all of July, all of August to prepare to beat the Denver Broncos in week 1 and start your season off the right way. It's a huge game to play in the beginning. I'd rather play the Broncos now when you can prepare instead of another team. Like I get it, you're going to prepare for every team. You're not going to focus on one team.
Sure.
But if you know what you do now, because it will be the Denver Broncos in week 1. So the things that went wrong, the things that went right, watching the Denver Broncos and how they played last year, formulating a plan in Spags to stop them, and Andy Reid, the play calling against them. Wouldn't you rather give Andy Reid a whole summer to play a team?
I don't hate
when
that
he's been
typically.
that
What's he
good,
been in the opening week?
When he's been that good coming off a bye. Yeah, I'd rather play somebody good the first game of the year to give Andy Reid all that time. Because right now, it's go time. They probably knew this beforehand that it was going to be them. They probably got the tip off them and the Broncos. They're playing each other on week 1. But now it's full-on focus. The Denver Broncos on the clock for the Kansas City Chiefs and the coaching staff beating Denver game 1. It starts now.
Look, this is probably, in fairness, it's probably not an organizational decision, and instead it's more just the way these teams bid this thing out. Because my initial instinct is I think the Chiefs actually do a really bad job of helping the football team with scheduling by taking every national game, every short week, every international one, a network will throw at them. So, I don't think it benefits the Chiefs. I think it's bad for the Chiefs. I am disappointed they are playing week 1 on Monday Night Football. I would have preferred that those harder primetime games, short rest number 2 weeks, would have come later in the season after they've given Patrick Mahomes a month to get his feet from under him, coming back from a major injury, and they would have, found some semblance of an offense or gotten more comfortable and all the stuff that comes in there. I would have preferred it that way. I don't like this game for the Chiefs. I'd have preferred this wasn't the one on the schedule. Part of it, Bink, is that It's that I got to assume Patrick Mahomes is healthy for them to really win it. And now he's on short rest for week 2. Already. I'm already off to a weird start to the season immediately. And I know it's not way short rest. It's not a Thursday game, but it's one less than their opponent will have going into it. Hell, maybe several less unless they're getting somebody coming back from, they're getting the Seahawks coming back from Australia or something. They are likely to be short rested for the first 2 weeks, coming off of an injured quarterback. I think that ESPN, I think they might have more than one primetime game in the first month. I think ESPN decided to take the biggest risk. Everybody was probably staring at week 2 or week 3 and said, ooh, we just put the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football, maybe a Thursday Night Football game.
I mean, there's certainly
maybe a
teams
Monday
on that
night
schedule that, like you say, we want this in prime time.
Yeah, and I thought that maybe they would all just wait until at least week 2 to take the risk. And ESPN was like, to hell with it. We'll just hope Patrick Mahomes is ready. If it ends up being Justin Fields, even funnier if it ends up being Stidham, although I don't have any concerns that Knicks won't be ready.
Knicks and Mahomes.
But they're taking a pretty big risk, Bink, TV-wise on that. But you also, it sounds like you're at least 70%. You think Mahomes is playing week 1.
Oh,
I'm still like 60-40 because it is
more than 70.
Very,
like 90.
man. It's a serious knee injury. How are you so confident?
Because it's
within,
Mahomes? Because it's within the window. It's 9 months.
He dislocated his knee. He was back in 2 games. He dislocated his knee and was back. He's just a different. He's a different.
I watched him play on that busted up ankle in that Eagles Super Bowl when he was still running for 30 yards at a time. We all did. Like I'm not the guy, but I also don't like. We were talking about it over on Twitch. To be clear, even though I know Mahomes is the kind of quarterback you can't say no to, I don't want him rushing himself back from this injury, and I will not blindly accept. Alex and I have gone back and forth on this. I'm not also going to blindly accept the idea that, if Mahomes says he's ready, he's ready. Man, I've watched that guy drag his leg behind him. No. Players are never right when they're ready, Bink. Players always think they're fine.
It's true.
They're always wrong. I don't take Mahomes at his word. And that's not against him. This is just one of those, standard proof things, Players, I don't want him rushing himself back. It's not worth it. It's not worth the risk, in my opinion. That's the issue.
I don't think it will.
When is the first game of the season?
14th is their first game.
September 14th.
Okay,
13th is the first Sunday, and then you got to go a few days before that. Wednesday before that.
So he had the ACL tear on December 14th. That's 9 months.
And he had the surgery the next day.
Exactly 9 months later.
Typical recovery time is 9 to 12 months. I know that that's on the further end of it, but I think that based on what we're seeing from him, being able to participate in OTAs and all of this stuff, I think he's already throwing. I think he's going to be ready, and I mean it fits in the 9-month window. I don't think it's too far off to say. I was confident he was going to be ready week 1 anyways. Now the fact that he's throwing in OTAs and he's been cleared for non-contact stuff at least, I think it's even a better chance that he's playing.
What's Mahomes? What's Andy Reid's record in week 1 of the season anyway? They've lost 2 of the last 3.
I'm with Drew on
but
that.
They'd won 5 or 6 in a row before that. Go ahead. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Bink. You were saying.
No, I'm with Drew 100% on that. The wild card is Cody. The wild card too is you're dealing with Mahomes. You're not dealing with another player dealing with an injury coming back. You're dealing with somebody that's
you got to protect for the next
Mahomes.
decade though too. It's not about 1 game or 2 games or a month. It's about
there's
10 years.
Guys, you have to, like Peyton Manning. He literally had to have his dad. I mean, Arch Manning was probably very instrumental in saying, it's time, that neck. It's time for you to leave. Sometimes you have to protect players from themselves.
Cody, they lost a lot last year, right, in week 1?
Yeah, they did. And they lost 3 years ago.
So I think it says, at least what I'm looking up, as of the start of the 2024 season, he was 10-2 with the Chiefs. So he'd be 10-3 then.
For 11 what did they count 2024? Or is that leading into 2024?
I don't know.
Leading into 2024 to be 2. So you're right. It'd be 11-3.
Yeah,
10-3 or whatever.
And he's 22-4 after a bye.
He was much worse. He was much worse in week 1 with the Eagles. He was only 500.
Yeah. It's different. But also in Kansas City, he's had nothing but winning teams. They win 10, 11, 12, 13 games a year.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to win opening week of the season when your team's good and you're better than everyone else. So, I don't think that that's crazy. Do you think, by the way, I told you what I want. Do you think the game's going to be in? Kyle Brandt said he thinks the game should be in Denver because they've earned the right.
They haven't earned anything.
To play,
they didn't go to the Super Bowl.
I like Brandt. He came on the show a lot. Earned what?
They had one good season.
They won the division.
They beat the Chiefs twice.
I think you won the division.
So you deserve to start at home?
Yeah, I think.
But every team who wins
honestly,
the division doesn't start at home.
Sure, but if you're playing against a team in your division, you won the division last year. You have dibs.
So that makes sense. The Chiefs
simple.
went to 3 straight Super Bowls in the Open in Brazil. That didn't make any sense.
Because but
that wasn't rewarding them.
I understand being
and they won the
17-hour flight.
But I understand being, but for all the reasons that we've talked about in the last 2 to 3 years, that the Chiefs are the moneymaker and all these other things, the Chiefs were always going to be going to Brazil. We already knew that. Like they're always going to be that, and that's part of the deal.
It is. And
I just don't think that's why they're going to be on Christmas every one because Clark Hunt sounds like he wants to, but that's part of the deal. It's like the Cowboys. It's just part of it.
They're cash cows for the NFL. Let's call it what it is. The Chiefs make the NFL a ton of money, billions of dollars. The Chiefs do. 4 of the top 5 games again were Kansas City Chiefs. 15 of the top 100 were Kansas City Chiefs. 93 of the top 100 were NFL games. But put it this way, you're right. The Chiefs do play every international game. They're always playing international. They take one for the team when it comes to that because they'll play
happily
everywhere.
they'll play
Because
Christmas
Clark Hunt's on the committee for international games.
Black Friday or Thanksgiving or the day
They
before
will do
Thanksgiving.
anything.
They'll play all of them.
So they'll play on any day, like you said, the holidays. Also, they were the first ever game streamed on YouTube.
Yeah.
The first ever game in the postseason streamed on Peacock.
Yep.
The first ever game streamed on Amazon. So, and the first ever game on Netflix was the Kansas City Chiefs. So every single streaming service
What's a bite of the apple?
was the Kansas City Chiefs. Peacock had a regular season game, but they were the first postseason game.
He's saying that Kansas City's earned the right to play there as much as anybody because they're the draw.
But all of that just because you're the draw doesn't mean the draw is going to be there regardless of whether they're at home or on the road. That's what I'm saying.
And also, the fact that it doesn't matter where they play is kind of what I'm saying. They're used to big games, big moments. It doesn't matter where they're playing.
All that being said, the fact that they lost the division last year, we're not going to win it before Patrick Mahomes got hurt. They don't need to open at home against the team that won the division. If they're playing the Chargers, sure, put it at Arrowhead. But the Broncos won the division.
I guess, and look, here's the thing. I don't want to give the Broncos any ammunition because I think sometimes teams are good at using it.
Or the Patriots played on week 1.
Making them feel disrespected by having to go to Kansas City in week 1, fine. They don't want that. That's fine. I want them to play on the road anyway. The Chiefs.
Yeah.
So it's fine. I will say, though, if they have to go to Denver week 1, Mahomes manages to come back, and that's a team that won 14, 15 games last year, and they go to Denver and win, the rest of the league will be done pretending that the Chiefs are still like that 6-win team from last year. That will put a statement back into the league that says, oh, no, we're back on top of the division. We're not messing around anymore. We're tough again. Because, it is kind of that game, even though week 1's a liar. I'm not saying it should be true. Week 1 is consistently a liar in the history of the NFL.
The number 1 team on the clock last year, the Raiders, went on the road and beat the Patriots, who were in the Super Bowl on the road.
I know. It
Week
doesn't
1.
make any sense.
But where should the Patriots start off? Should they be at home, too? Because they actually went to the Super Bowl. You award them.
He's saying pretty much every division
they won the division, went to the Super Bowl.
If the Patriots are playing an AFC East team in week 1, they should host because they won the division.
It's a culmination. It's not just that they played well, they won their division. It's that they're playing a divisional
playing a
opponent
division
to open
team. You beat them in the division. You deserve to host the game. If the Patriots are playing the Bills, the Patriots should host the game. But to me, again, it's not that big of a deal. It really doesn't matter. But to me, that's the way I would do it. It's week 1 though, which is why I think if I was the Chiefs, I'd rather get this game over with.
I'm with you on that.
You mean? Oh yeah, get a Broncos game out of the way.
I'd rather get a Broncos game on the road over with.
I'm not sure that they're going to be at their best, but you might also catch the Broncos before they've gotten their feet under them.
Exactly. Yeah.
It just kind of depends. It just feels like the Chiefs are less likely to have their feet under them. But that would be no games with Jalen Waddle in the offense, all of them playing together.
Bo Nick's first game back from the injury, just the same.
Yeah. So there might be a little bit something to it, but he's coming back from a broken ankle, not a ripped up knee.
Ligament.
It's a slight. Yeah, it's a slightly different injury. So I don't want to
the way his leg looks though.
I know. Yeah,
man, the pictures of Bo's leg did not look great.
Man, just jumped, just crumbled. That was one of the weirdest stories when I sent that in postgame. When I sent it to Drew and Alex, I think everybody was like, "Wait, what? Is this real news?"
Yeah.
I had to triple check. I'm like, I just watched him kneel.
Yeah.
Like the hell? Like
it wasn't even that. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how real it was, and yet, sure enough, there it is. There was other news out of the NFL yesterday. Bink, you're going to be shocked by this. Aaron Rodgers still hasn't met with the Steelers. And I got to say.
But all reports said he was going to meet last weekend.
I got to say.
Guess everybody got that wrong, too.
Steelers, hear me out. I know you are a proud franchise. You are acting like it is 2:30 a.m. in the bar in the midst of a 1-year-long dry streak, and you are desperate. And you don't have to do this to yourself.
They are, though, in a way, Coach.
Just
they are, though,
walk.
in a way.
Start. Is it Skylar Thompson's there?
No, it'd be Will Howard. It'd be Will Howard, or it would be Drew Aller.
Start Drew Aller. Start Will Howard, and stop this. You are too proud of a franchise to be begging at the doorstep of Aaron Rodgers for an entire offseason. This man doesn't care about you. He is not interested. He will come back and play for you only on his terms. He originally told them it would be a short-term decision. Then they'd have it before the draft. Then they wanted it sometime after the draft. Bink, it's May 12th, and they haven't even met.
Well, the reports came out last week. Remember the Pittsburgh radio station and the Ian Rappaport of the world, saying they're going to meet over the weekend. One wild card team here to throw out, and I don't know if they're making a play, the Cardinals. Nathaniel Hackett there is...
They shouldn't do that either. They should just start...
Nathaniel Hackett is very
Carson
close.
Beck.
Do you think Nathaniel Hackett, he's very close to Aaron Rodgers, right? Aaron Rodgers likes Nathaniel Hackett. Guess who the offensive coordinator is in Arizona? Guess who also...
Nathaniel Hackett's still an OC? I thought he may never
There's
coach
no
again
chance the Cardinals do that. They've got Gardner Minshew and Carson Beck and Jacoby Brissett. There's no chance that
They should just start...
You just mentioned they don't have anything.
I just gave you 3 quarterbacks, and they just paid Gardner $8 million.
By name, you gave me quarterbacks.
Are they just unwilling to be bad? Is this what the
But
Steelers...
Nathaniel Hackett is the offensive
The Steelers' ultimate flaws? They're too picky. They're unwilling to be bad.
You know what the funny thing about the Steelers is? Remember
Cody.
they were on the phone with Makai Lemon? Thinking they drafted him, and the Eagles jumped them.
The Steelers are too prideful in their history, and they don't want to be in a position where they're going to just be bad.
But what's crazy, Drew, is you wouldn't even lose the fan base.
The fan base would be behind it, probably.
Wants Will Howard. I was in Pittsburgh for the whole weekend of the draft, and the only thing any Uber driver or Pittsburgh fan or my cousin who lives in Pittsburgh and is a Steelers fan, the only thing they could talk about is, we just want to see if Will Howard's good. They got no interest in Aaron. They don't want it.
Mm-hmm.
They're not interested. They just want to find out whether or not Will Howard can play, or in some people's case, screw it, Drew Aller. If you went to Pitt, you probably don't want Drew Aller because he's a Penn State kid.
You at least figure it out, though, for either of those guys.
Would they say anything about Makai Lemon, how they thought they had him, and the Eagles jumped them over?
Yeah.
They were on
That is the least of their problem.
They were on the phone with him.
They were hot over that.
That's the least of their problems, though.
Well, no, it's funny because the draft was in Pittsburgh, and they thought they had a playmaker.
Why are you begging this? Why are you praying for the return of 42-year-old Aaron Rodgers? I mean, I get it. He's a league average quarterback, which you don't currently possess.
I do really
But that's
think
all he is, Drew. There's not even there's not some hidden, supercharged season in him.
Yeah.
There's not like some, MVP run.
Yeah, I do think that it's more about the history of winning for them.
They don't like being bad.
Because, the roster's not bad. Obviously, you get Michael Pittman, you got DK. Running back situation is questionable because they took Caleb Johnson, didn't really do anything, but Warren's fine. And, they've got a good defense, obviously. It's just...
Like, if I'm the new coach, I'm like, what the hell am I stuck with this guy for?
Mike McCarthy?
Just real quick.
McCarthy's good for at least 9 to 10
Is there some
wins.
reason, and he's had Aaron Rodgers before, is there some reason why I'm stuck with Aaron Rodgers again? I got to wait all summer to... they're in practice right now. Camps.
I do think...
those are, hypothetically, reps. You would like a new team and a new offense and a new coach and all of those things to take together.
The part that's confusing to me is we know how good of a coach Mike Tomlin was. We know Mike McCarthy is
consistent. He's been a pretty consistent coach.
Solid head coach.
Yeah.
So that would, I think, give you more reason to think, in fairness to them, that, well, if Aaron is a better than Will Howard or Drew Aller, then maybe there's something there. Or if you're on the other side of it and you're tired of Aaron Rodgers, then at least see what Mike McCarthy can do with Drew Aller or Will Howard. And if it works, then, hey, maybe you got the guy. And if it doesn't work out, then you don't, and you can go on from there instead of having this question that just feels like is inevitable, but it keeps getting kicked down the road because you want to bring back Aaron Rodgers.
They're too prideful to lose football games, but not too prideful to beg at his doorstep. Please, Aaron, please come play quarterback for us.
It is a little sad.
Doesn't make any sense, man. It really doesn't, and I will continue to not understand that franchise doing it. When we come back, let's talk about what the Royals will have to do in order to reach the number of wins it took to get to the playoffs just last season.
This is Cody and Gold on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan, brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
If you've been putting off some much-needed painting, don't wait any longer. Call CertaPro Painters now. They'll provide a free estimate quickly and at the right price, and you never have to wonder what's next. They provide reliable communication and updates because they know how important your home is to you. Take advantage of CertaPro's spring sales event for 10% off qualifying projects before May 15th. Each CertaPro Painter's business is independently owned and operated, so schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
What if you could have the most reliable Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee.
Just 5 years of fiber-powered Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most.
That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family's banking on bandwidth. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included.
Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi.
Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi? It would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that.
Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Powered by fiber. Connected to the premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
FanDuel is giving you even better payouts on same-game parlays all NBA playoffs long. And with more ways to build and more value every time you play, you can stack your picks your way for every game, every matchup, and every moment. From point spreads to player points to threes and so much more, you can build it all into one simple same-game parlay and go for an even bigger payout. So if you're betting a same-game parlay this NBA postseason, you can bet them with America's #1 sportsbook app with our friends over at FanDuel. More options, better payouts, all NBA playoffs long. So head to FanDuel.com/local to get started. One more time, that's FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel puts player research right at your fingertips so you can check every stat, trend, and matchup all in one place. You can make your picks with confidence. Everything you need in just one app, so don't miss your shot. Head to FanDuel right now, America's #1 sportsbook app and official partner of the NBA, and play your game. 21 and present in Missouri. Gambling problem. Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, it's Rex here with Rex Buys KC. I get it. Selling your house can sometimes feel overwhelming or scary, right? I've seen it too many times. A homeowner thought they had a deal, only to have the buyer back out at the last minute. That's not how we do business at Rex Buys KC. I'm local, I know Kansas City, and I make sure every deal actually closes like it's supposed to. No hidden fees, no showings, no last-minute surprises, just a fair cash offer and a process you can count on. We buy homes in any condition and judgment-free. So whether your house needs repairs or you just want a fast, hassle-free sale, we can make it happen. If you want certainty, transparency, and someone local who actually delivers, call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time. 816-330-6000 or rexbuyskc.com.
Call Hamilton today for our $79 mainline drain cleaning special. The pros at Hamilton will inspect your drains with video camera technology to pinpoint exactly what is needed to clear those clogs and help prevent expensive drain repairs. The expert technicians at Hamilton are ready 7 days a week to solve your problem the right way, the first time. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 5-star reviews are great reasons to trust Hamilton. Visit callhamilton.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions.
Are you an adult with uncontrolled moderate to severe Crohn's disease symptoms and still packing a backup bag of clothes? Just in case? Skyrizi Risankizumab Risa can help you take control of your Crohn's. Feel significant symptom relief, including less abdominal pain and fewer bowel movements at 4 weeks. Plus, Skyrizi is proven to help people achieve remission and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Individual results may vary. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's. Ready to take control of your Crohn's? Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's disease.
Control is everything to me.
Learn more at skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account.
When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything.
Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
This report is brought to you by CM Mose & Son, HVAC, plumbing, and electrical services. CMMoseandSon.com.
Dispatch, this is Mindy at CM Mose & Son.
Well, boy, it's getting hot out there. Now, if your AC is making funny noises, just needs a once-over, or your home isn't as cool as it used to be, visit CMMoseandsons.com. CM Mose & Sons. License 202919.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Rob Brennan. We hope you're enjoying Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's biggest sporting event. It's presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. New episodes released every Wednesday on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Back in here on Cody and Gold, 96.5 The Fan. Cody Tapp, Jay Binkley, and Drew Nixon with you. Alex Gold has posted on Twitter. Can I get some breaking news sound? Oh, no, we don't have a breaking news sound anymore. We used to. That used to be a thing we'd play a little bit more on this show. Just something that says, somebody said, breaking alert. Where is Alex? Is he ever coming back? He said, Cody and the Fan, desperate for answers. You won't believe how long we've been waiting. And then Alex quote tweeted that and said, planning on being back tomorrow. I guess the question I have for you, Bink, is, are you available tomorrow in case Alex's plans don't, best laid plans and all?
Yes.
Drew, do you think he'll be back tomorrow? I had originally set the over-under as Wednesday. I set a solid line.
Yeah, I would say he's back tomorrow. I think so. There's a sound effects thing with breaking news. It's not particularly great, but this is just what I found in the folder.
What do I got? Oh yeah, that
feels like after that happens.
Yeah, Alex planning on being back tomorrow.
News today out of Kansas City. Alex Gold, host of one half of Cody and Gold, has said that he will be back tomorrow.
He's
for
planning
the show.
on being back tomorrow. That's important.
Sources say
post nasal surgery. The source being Alex Gold per his Twitter account. Rumors circulating whether or not that is actually true.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
You'll have to find out tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Yeah, whether or not Alex has made it. He might post before then. I don't know. He's obviously been. He's in recovery.
Is he going to give us one of those "I'm back, baby" sort of like something like that?
I don't know. I don't know what his energy level will be. So we'll see as Alex maybe makes his return tomorrow, but maybe not. Coming up in about 10 minutes, I'll get you a random question of the day. This time it's around stadiums and what you do when attending. So we'll get to that in just a few minutes as well. But I think there's plenty of more optimism around the Royals here lately because they're playing a little bit better baseball. But obviously there's pessimism too because if you look at the standings right now, the Royals haven't even made it back to 500. And JJ Picollo was on with us earlier.
They're a half game out from the wild card, man.
But they're not going to be able to finish 10 games under 500 and be a playoff team. And we know that.
Well, the American League
JJ talked about that, right? No, it's not going to be a below 500 team. It's not that bad. So I wanted to give you some records and where you think they need to be in order to be a playoff team. Last year, 87 wins would have gotten you into the playoffs. The Royals would need to go 68-53 the rest of the way to do that. to win the division. A couple of years ago, 86 wins would have almost gotten it done. 67-54 in order to do that. I guess the question is, when you hear that out loud, 913-586-7965. When you hear 67-54 the rest of the way, or 68-53, is that a number that scares you that they can't get to, or a number that sounds more obtainable? Because to me, that sounds in the range of what I think is on the upper end range of what they're capable of. But if it were any higher than that, I don't think I'd be like, if it were 70-50, Bink, I don't think I'd be feeling all that confident about it. 68-53 to get to 87 wins. I will say that's on the high end of the record I think they're capable of going. Well, pointing out that the Guardians at one point last year were like 50-50 or 55-55, 110 games.
So 87 wins got you in last year. This year, obviously, the records are worse. We'll see if teams get on a run, which they could.
They had 82 wins last year.
Shave that down. I think,
be above that.
I think 86 or 85 might get you into postseason, the third wild card.
This year?
I think that's more or less.
Just because of where the AL is?
Yeah, considering where the American League is and nobody's really in contention. The last place team in the wild card in the whole American League is only 4 games back from it. I think 85. So going 66-55.
66-55? Okay. So, like, that'll get you to 86.
But they need to go on a heater, though. They need to win 5, 6 in a row, 7 in a row, something like that to withstand where you can stomach the 3-4 game losing streaks if they happen, which they probably will again, but you need to go at least on a nice 6-7 game winning streak.
I guess it's like, it's really difficult because I don't want to like pretend like they can't, go like, I do think that record is more than viable considering the fact that they have Bobby Witt Jr. and they're playing significantly better than that over their last 2 weeks. But they that's like winning 4 out of every 7 games. Like I put it in perspective like that because it's not that crazy from a winning percentage standpoint. But they also, over the last 2 years, this year and last, how many times have they won at that clip for an extended period of time? That's really what's held them back. Right now, I got no problem with they swept the Mariners. They split a series against the Guardians. They won a series against the Tigers. Okay. Win another series against the White Sox. Then maybe lose a series against the Cardinals, but you're still 3-3 on the road trip before you head back home against Seattle and Boston and the Yankees. A series in which those games are going to be much harder to win because the Yankees absolutely, whether we like it or not, have your number. But the thing about it is they're going to play a lot of American League teams, and the American League is incredibly average. So these teams are all going to beat each other up and are currently, as you pointed out, 4 games is the biggest distance between it.
It's one big SEC, Cody.
I don't know. The SEC, that's giving way too much credit to the bottom of the SEC. Let's not pretend like Arkansas is competitive.
Yeah, but Vanderbilt turned it around, yeah.
Did they? What are they?
Well, they also were not bottom half of the SEC.
Yeah, they've been a better team.
Yeah, but they're not bottom half. We're talking about Mississippi State and Arkansas.
Yeah, let's not talk about. Yeah.
But they were.
Oh, that's baseball standings. I was like, Missouri wasn't the worst team.
Baseball is different in the SEC. I will say that.
I know. I was just
Missouri's dead last. I was going to check the standings.
I was throwing a sourdough joke out there, Drew.
But apparently it wasn't very good. Let's see. I want to see. You mentioned SEC.
KU's having an all-time season.
They're having an awesome run. Yeah, Arkansas was winless in the conference. There was only 4 wins between Auburn, Mississippi State, South Carolina, and Arkansas in football last year in the conference. They had more wins in that total.
Mississippi State was close in a lot of them.
All right.
They were a negative 100 differential in points.
And
they
you know what?
Brendan Thompson.
And you know what? Wisconsin almost beat Oregon last year.
True.
Yeah, almost. We play way too much in sports. Sports are close.
That sounds like me.
People
That's
lose a lot of close
games.
games.
Said is something I would say.
Yeah,
traditionally on the show.
Trying to let Mississippi State off the hook. But I mean, look, I understand the American League is pressure. I guess what gives me the confidence to say, because that's what I get asked a lot. If I say they're going to win 67, go 68-53, what gives you the confidence that they can play that way the rest of the way? My answer is a couple of different versions. One is Bobby Witt Jr. is a superstar. And he is playing like a superstar over the last couple of weeks. And shocker, they've won like 11 of 16 games. Not surprising to me. They still have good starting pitching. Bubic, Lugo, Waka, even before you get to the Reagans injury and the struggles from Noah Cameron. They can pitch. At least in the starting staff, they can pitch. Bullpens can be fixed. I don't think that you just have to say, oh, they got to be good today. Bullpens can be fixed. So
and you're hoping Ursig just keeps it rolling.
Yeah, so I'll give myself some hope in that. Now it hurts that Estevez is gone for who the hell knows how long. I didn't even bother asking JJ Picollo about it. How does he know? He's going to get shut down for at least 3 weeks. He doesn't know how close Carlos Estevez
Would you
is.
be
It might be 2
surprised if
months.
you see him at all until like September?
I wouldn't surprise me if he didn't pitch this year. Like, I don't know that's going to be the case, but the next time he steps on a mound, Bink, 6 weeks from now, whatever it is, if he gets hurt again, that's it. Like, he's going to have to be able to pitch and stay healthy, or it's all she wrote for the season for Estevez. But, like, the bullpen is okay. The starting rotation is better than okay, and they have legitimate offensive players. They have 5 guys on pace for 20 home runs. They have power that could be even more power than it's currently pacing at. Vinny was pacing higher last year. Bobby was pacing higher last year. Cags can still unlock more. Carter Jensen's in a bit of a slump, and in fairness, JJ put that sum on how much more he's having to catch. So, like, there's a part of it that I do think, like, there's more there on offense. There's maybe not more there in the starting rotation. There's maybe not more there with the bullpen. But there's definitely more there offensively, isn't there? That's why I feel like they can go 15 games over 500. 3/4 of the season remains, which is crazy to me. 75%. And to your point, Bink, all they got to do is play better than everybody else. They don't have to win 20 games in a row. They just got to play better than all the teams around them for the rest of the season.
And you start to miss teams like where the White Sox were, not now, when you were 7 games over 500 against them last year, 11 games over 500 against them the year before.
Yeah.
That makes a huge difference in the standings, 7 to 11 games. And it's beating up on a team. Finding a team you can beat up on, and like you say, and everybody's playing competitive, everybody's beating up on each other, that becomes more difficult when you don't have a team that you're bullying around, building up in the standings, like everybody's taking advantage of the White Sox the last couple of years because everybody's so damn close in this division.
Well, it is. I mean, and in the standings, just in general, kind of reflect that. But I don't know. It's just, like I said, I think it's on the upper end of the range of what I think the Royals are capable of, but it's not out of the range.
I think they need to.
I'm not asking them to play above their skis. I'm just asking them to play the good version of Royals baseball the rest of the way.
I think they just need to keep being, if they can find a way to be consistent with the
Their schedule over light now.
ability to come in clutch. Like if it's the bullpen coming through, if it's the offense delivering in extra innings, you know, like we have seen, I think that can be what helps get them to where they want to go.
So they face the White Sox tonight, who are half game ahead of them in the standings. Cardinals, who are currently a playoff team. Red Sox, who you mentioned are the worst team in the American League, Bink. No, that's the Astros.
No, but almost. But they're still only 2 games back from the Wild
Red
Card.
Sox,
To be honest with you.
Red Sox, not very good so far. Mariners are good and in the playoffs.
But you
although
get them at
7 above
home,
500.
and you spanked them out in Seattle.
Yankees have...
You swept them in Seattle. Now you get them at home.
Yankees have walked all over them. Then when you get to June, and this goes back to what you're saying.
The rest of May is pretty favorable to the Royals.
Stabilize, right? Stay stabilized. Keep winning series. Or win a series, loses. But don't get swept. Don't go on a losing streak. Stay stable. Because then June, that's where you could maybe do a little bit of work. Cincinnati and the Twins, and I think the Twins will eventually get worse. Rangers and Astros, those are not teams that are playing great baseball. The Rays, they do have at the end of the month. But then the White Sox again. I mean, it feels like their schedule does at least become slightly more favorable. And it's too early to know exactly how good some of those teams will be. But in June and July, they also have the Rockies and the Twins again. And like some of these teams that I think they have more talent than. And on paper, they certainly do. But they have already, to me, stabilized. Now it's about when do you start winning. And the winning part for me, Bink's not going to come until Cole Reagans is back, until they've shored up the bullpen, until Salvador Perez hits at all. I will say I'm finally off of, he can't hit fourth anymore. It's enough. He can hit fourth later. He can hit fourth later. It's enough.
Yeah.
It's enough. Like, I'm a patient person. That's not like, especially with Salvador Perez, the person to be the most patient with. He can't keep hitting fourth. Come on. What are we doing here?
How many...
Like, he's taking some days off, and they're making Lane Thomas and Isaac Collins do it. And I'm not going to pretend like I like that. But I like that better than Salvi doing it right now. Until the man hits, I just don't think you can take the chance. Until he's playing, until he's catching 3 days a week, having him hit in the upper part of the lineup is just dangerous.
What did you say? How many, or what does the record have to be over the remaining? Was it 15 over 500?
To get to what record? To get to I guess.
I forget whatever number we were talking about earlier.
Sure, 86 wins, which would have pretty much getting into playoffs at least some of those years. 67 and 54, 68 and 53 to get to 87.
Okay, so we're asking them to be 13 games over 500 in the remainder of the stretch. So I went and I looked, and what you had mentioned, it got me thinking of. You said just win the series. They got 39 more series this year.
Yeah.
If they win even less than half of those.
20 probably.
If they win half of the series, just based on that number, let's say it's 39. Let's give them the boost and say 20. Based on what you were saying in 86, they'll get to 86 if they win half of their series the rest of the way. If they even win less than half, they can still get to 86.
They can even hover around 500 for a little bit. They don't have to get 7, 8, 9 games above 500 yet. That can be in July.
Yeah, so they don't even need to go on this problem. They don't need to go on this huge run of, in 9 straight wins or whatever it is. Like they can go 3-2 or 2-1 in every series and just try to manage that and beat who you're supposed to beat. They'll be right there in the mix of it when we get to the final stretch of the year.
Someone says a lot of hypotheticals, need to see some improvements as far as the power.
That also is true.
No doubt. Somebody says, can we trade Bubic and Isbell for Mike Trout?
Oh, I think you'd sign up for that.
I asked for trade for Mike Trout last year.
If money was no object, then, you would.
Let's take on a pitch, though. But also just trade away Blake Mitchell for Mike Trout. Give away minor leaguers, I don't know what Blake Mitchell's been doing, but, trade away someone else. Don't be trading away, don't be trading away good players. Active players. They need to win,
Mike Trout would be awesome until he gets hurt again.
Dang.
Well, no.
He's been pretty healthy this year, hasn't he?
Yes, this year. But Mike Trout's track record has not been good for staying healthy, and you know that.
All right, fine. They can trade Bubic, but only if they call up.
That's
David
only our
Shields.
luck that would happen.
But only if they trade. They call up David Shields from A-ball, and I can just see if he can pitch right away.
That would be pretty wild. Just thinking about that.
No way.
Here, Drew. These are his games played. Keep in mind, 162 is the limit. So since 2019, 134, 53, 36, 119, 82, 29, 130, and then 41. So his track record is
he will die.
He's going to miss a good majority of the season.
By the way, I did look it up, Drew, just for you. David Shields. They just did some promotions today. Some other guys pitching well. Some people thought maybe Shields would, suit. I think it'll be like a month or two if he keeps pitching this way. He has made, 6 starts in high A ball. His first year in high A ball. He has a 2.7 earned run average, 26 2/3 innings pitched, and 35 strikeouts in 26 innings.
You know what? Why not? What?
Well, it's a little bit like the Caglione thing. It's like there's nothing that level has to offer him anymore. Here's his last 4 starts. 5 innings, no runs, 8 strikeouts. 5 innings, 1 run, 6 strikeouts. 5 innings, no runs, 6 strikeouts. 5 2/3, 1 run, 8 strikeouts. Not getting anything done in A-ball anymore.
As ludicrous of an idea as that sounds.
I think he's got those boys figured out.
Mm-hmm.
Get his ass to AA at the very least, Someone says from that one, did Cody really say he's a patient man? I just meant, is it related to Salvador Perez? Maybe not in all of my life, but at least a portion of it.
Random question.
For you, Bink, for you, Drew, on the text line, 913-586-7965. And, of course, over on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook, live streaming the show. Happy to take your answers over there as well, as I try to on the stream. We're in glorious 4K. Look how bright and shiny we are, Bink. You can see pores. I don't know. I think it looks good, Drew. So I'm curious.
No, it does look really good.
Cameras are good.
All right, so first off, admittedly, I'm guilty of some bad ideas. I'm just going to say that now. So you're going to have to hear me out when I suggest an idea at the end of my random question. Because I learned something yesterday. And then a thought went into my brain, which I think might be risky, but worth it for the show. So the question I have for you first, though, is, have you ever brought in food into the stadium in which you're attending a game in a bag? I have recently learned that you can bring what appears to be a meal-sized amount of food in a no larger than gallon-sized bag into Kauffman Stadium per their stadium policy. So, Bink, you want to bring a hoagie? I guess you can bring a hoagie into the stadium just as long as it is in a sandwich bag.
Like beer to a NASCAR.
Or peanuts, right? People do peanuts or popcorn or those things.
What if it's like
Have you ever
Jimmy John's or like?
I think it's probably fine
Chick-fil-A.
based on what I read. I think it's fine. So the question is, have you ever done that? It sounds like you guys are both. No, I'm no. Are people doing that regularly? Because that's a question I do have for you. Are some of you bringing food into the stadium? So bringing in, I know you can bring in like a sealed bottle of water. Because I've never done that, and that's certainly been a little bit different.
Never done it.
If we're including NASCAR in it, then yes, I have.
Okay, so NASCAR, that's a little bit different. That's more of the vibe of it.
But
like people do that. They bring in their whole coolers,
if we
alcohol and everything.
If we take that out of it, then no, I've never done that. Quite frankly, I didn't know you could.
Someone over on Twitch, Metal says, I bring in a bottle of water every time. Why not? Says, when I used to work in an office and go there for games after work, sometimes I would do that. So not totally out of the question. Someone says from the 913, yes, my family always brings Mr. Good Sense to the game. So not that all uncommon. The reason why I asked this question, so you've never done it, Bink?
Never.
Okay. The reason why I asked this is, the reason why I learned this is there an account, Drew, online, that tracks the number of baseball stadiums in which you can bring bag of spaghetti in a Ziploc bag into the stadium. And because the Royals have two very prominent Italian players, I think that we should go out for a game and we should get as many people as we can with our Ziploc bags full of spaghetti, and we should head out to the K and enjoy it together. We could sit out in the outfield seats with our Ziploc bags of spaghetti.
Kind of like, so you're wanting...
cheering on Vinny Pasquantino and Jack Caglione. Maybe we could get the Pasta La Vista shirts officially made. Meatballs go Pasta La Vista. I think as a group.
So you want to
we could all get together with our bags of spaghetti.
Eating cold spaghetti.
A hot summer day might not be cold. July spaghetti might
You want to do a General MacArthur-like event.
Yes, but with spaghetti.
Bags of spaghetti instead.
Yeah,
for Jack Caglione and Vinny Pasquantino.
But with spaghetti. So who's in? That's my question. Follow-up question. Who's with me? Why not over on Twitch says he'll come? Scoop says he'll come.
How many people are you shooting
Who on
for?
the text line? 100. 200. The more, the better, Drew. I want an absurd amount of us sitting in the outfield eating Ziploc bags full of spaghetti. I want a crazy number.
Have you ever ate spaghetti out of a Ziploc?
I don't think I have. I think I would need it to be warm. Like I would have to find a way to.
Someone said they saw a guy bringing chili into a baseball game to make their own chili dogs.
There you go.
So someone says they bring in bottled water. So, but who's in? Who's in? Someone says you could be the right field spaghetti monsters. We could get Italian flag shirts, or we could get the Meatballs Go Pasta La Vista shirts.
I do think
we could get something together. I think
it would be pretty epic if we got like a bunch of Italian flags and just had them out.
Brennan over on YouTube says he's in. Sounds like fun. There's some people who are in. Would you guys come? Would you guys eat spaghetti on a July baseball game?
I do think
the worst time to eat spaghetti outside, maybe in the planet.
We would also have to
cappuccino too, because that'd be a really hot drink too.
Oh God,
we would have
they don't let me bring in cappuccino. They let me bring in a bag of spaghetti. Per their stadium policy, I am allowed to bring in a gallon-sized Ziploc bag full of spaghetti. Nothing prevents it.
But
It's crazy.
It can't be in a container. It's got to be.
It's got to be in a Ziploc bag.
So it's gonna be straight in the bag. No,
it's a little bit more messy to eat in the Ziploc.
But
bag.
it's also, Drew, let's be honest. It also makes it way funnier. The Ziploc bag is a more absurd vessel.
I do think
to travel.
Everybody
with your
carrying a bag of spaghetti would be interesting.
We would have to be sure that we are down the first baseline. Would even be better if you're in between Jack and Vinny, but right field at minimum to be on that same side of the field as them.
From the 402, I'm down. From the 816, I'll be down if the spaghetti is supplied. Spaghetti's easy to make. We just meet at a tailgate ahead of time, and I just have like a big pot of it, or how are you envisioning it being prepared for somebody? Someone says, sounds like fun, but also dangerous. Someone says, can it be Alfredo? I don't know why that seems worse somehow. But, we get some shirts together. I'll say, Drew, there's a large majority of people on the text line who are down to eat spaghetti at the game.
It definitely sounds like,
we put together a real crew.
It sounds like it.
Someone says the K will catch on and turn it into a theme day. That's what happened with Dress to the Nines. That was fan-supported. They already have an Italian Heritage Night at the K. I looked. It's way too late in the season.
Like the last game?
But why can't Italian Heritage Night be us eating spaghetti in right field where Jack Caglione plays?
This last day of the
I think we need to be
season,
somewhere between. I actually think we need to be lower level, third base side, between right field and first base, between Vinny and Cags.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
The entire group together. Ziploc bags full of spaghetti.
Get the both of them to recognize it. Yeah.
Italian-themed shirts, and we're just there.
Are you talking a lot of sauce on it too, or just a
no sauce?
Just
red sauce, spaghetti and red sauce with some meatballs. Like just
it's
like
be
the
a
most
messy event.
Yes, it is.
Messy event.
But I think we can make it work. Someone says as long as we have T-shirts or the Pasta La Vista T-shirts, they're in. So there's I needed to get a vibe check. Is what
it sounds like it would be very popular.
Sometimes I come up with these stupid ideas when Alex is gone, and I come back and I inform him that we have a crew ready to go eat pasta, to go eat spaghetti in at the K, and he's like, sometimes I don't warn him that he might have signed up for something he didn't.
I think
he didn't sign up.
You think in Cincinnati they have Skyline Chili Day?
Someone says maybe we could get custom clear spaghetti fanny packs.
That might be doing too much, but okay.
Is that a step too far? All right, just continue. Someone says, can you put it in a container? It says Ziploc bag in their policy.
That's a question.
All I'm telling you is that it's got to be in a Ziploc bag, and the account that tracks it is talking about Ziploc bags.
Don't forget a fork.
Just consider it. I want you to consider it.
Don't forget a fork.
When we come back, Stephen A. had something to say about a team in the AFC. Plus, Bink wants us to try to tier out the AFC as it relates to the Chiefs, so we'll do that next.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Cole Reagans, and you're listening to Cody and Gold. Weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Is your garage door too loud and whining for help? Overhead Door Company of Kansas City will make it all better. They will perform their full 26-task garage door tune-up for just $79. That's just $79 for up to 3 garage doors and openers. You need this done once a year, so why not now? And for just $79. Call Overhead Door Company of Kansas City at 816-221-0072 or schedule online at overheaddoorkc.com.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account.
When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything.
Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Tyler Reddick here from 2311 Racing. The rush of racing? Nothing beats it. But Chumba Casino comes close. Chumba's got fast spins, fun games, daily bonuses, and all the action you can handle. Now that's a ride. Ready to hit the throttle? Get in the driver's seat and head to ChumbaCasino.com. Let's Chumba.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
The playoff push is here. NBA teams are deep in the stretch run, and Fanatics Sportsbook is ready for every moment. Here's the deal. You guys have heard me talk about Fan Cash, and remember, every time you bet with Fanatics Sportsbook, you're earning up to 10% Fan Cash, win or lose. So even if your bet misses, you're still stacking Fan Cash. Fan Cash unlocks value you can't get at other sportsbooks, like more bets, unlimited profit boosts for your favorite player props, authentic NBA gear, game tickets, and access to exclusive Fanatics events like Fanatics Fest in New York City. But that's not their only play. The good times roll on with Fanatics Fair Play, an injury protection policy that turns losses into wins. That's right. If you love player props, your legs are protected across the entire first half of every game if an injury takes place. If your guy goes down, you're getting your money back or your parlay plays on. Make the switch to the sportsbook that gives you more to play with. Winning hits different here.
Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-MY-RESET.
Graduation season is the busiest time of the year, and you want it to be perfect, so you need to trust Hy-Vee with your important celebrations like we do. Choose from a wide range of budget-friendly catering options like the classic grill out for just $7 per person or the high chai Asian buffet for just $14 per person. And don't forget the personalized baked goods, flowers, and more. Leave all the prep work and messy cleanup to Hy-Vee with full-service catering for any size celebration. So sit back and relax. Your perfect graduation party starts at Hy-Vee.
If the high cost of filling up is weighing you down,
Lighten your load at Hy-Vee. This Saturday and Sunday, get a 30-cent per gallon fuel discount with every $60 purchase. Stock up on groceries and stack up the fuel savings. Earn 30 cents per gallon with your $60 purchase. 60 cents per gallon with a $120 purchase. The more you spend, the more you'll save. Your next fill-up could be free. Don't miss the 2-day Fuel Saver event this weekend only at Hy-Vee.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-323-8922. 800-323-8922. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-323-8922.
Wendy's new Biggie Deals lets you choose whatever you're in the mood for. It's like a music mixing board of deals, and you're the producer. Go with some chill folk music with a JBC in the $4 Biggie Bite snack. Try the drum and bass of deals with a double stack in the $6 Biggie Bag. Or go full-on sandwich symphony with an $8 Biggie Bundle, the grand finale of snacking. And the best part? They all come with napkins. $4, $6, and $8 Biggie Deals how you want them at Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Look out for Max Minute on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube Shorts every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. This is Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5, The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
I think we had an early groundswell of support for heading out to the K. Drew, I can get you out there, eat some pasta in the July Kansas City
It definitely sounds
heat.
like people are into it.
They definitely
Go drink beer with
Someone
you.
says we could call the spot between right field and first base Little Italy. Somebody said, or we could call ourselves the Gabagools. There's lots of choices. I mean, we can lean all the way in.
Now, that would be crazy.
Largely, this just came from, I'm dead serious, it was just two things. The Royals have the two most prominent Italian players in the league on their team. They were two of the stars of Team Italy. They were two of the major leaguers who were on that team. So, they have two of the most prominent Italian players in the league on their team anyway. And then I learned that you could bring spaghetti into the K. And I had genuinely, and I understand it's other foods. Spaghetti is just a funny food, Bink, to put into a Ziploc bag, drag out to the K, and everybody sitting in a section together eating it with a fork out of a Ziploc bag. It's funny. That's why I liked it.
Hopefully a plastic fork and not a regular fork because it would cut the bag.
And I want to say anyway, you know what? I like this, our listeners on Cody and Gold, some of the most supportive, even of our most harebrained ideas.
Or even the road trips to watch.
We go
prospects.
watch Jack Caglione or go watch Bobby Witt Jr. or show up to a football field to do a fake video shoot.
Where was Bobby? Was that in Omaha or was that in Arkansas?
That was in Arkansas. Okay. The 9th Infantry. When we come up with stuff and we ask you guys to show up for the show, you show up. Which gives me the belief that if I say, hey, on this date, at this game at Kauffman Stadium, we will be going into the stadium, we will be sitting in this section, and we'll all be eating pasta, I'd like to think I could get 100 of you. I'd like to think I could get 100 people out to the K eating spaghetti with the group of us. You know?
Yeah.
That's all.
Hey, I have an update for you. Breaking news sounder, Drew.
Okay, yeah. Oh, we're back to the breaking news. What do you got for me?
Well, it's NFL related.
Okay.
Breaking news sounder.
That's not breaking news. That's part of
I
it.
did not. I did not play that. Your computer is now on mute again.
But it was something breaking, right? It was breaking wind.
Yeah, it's different. That's that horse fart from earlier.
Per Ari Myrov, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell, on Pat McAfee show earlier, that the 2026 NFL regular season schedule was officially approved and finalized within the last hour. Now it's all done. Now you'll start seeing the leaks starting to trickle out as far as where games
Am
are.
I really supposed to believe that
Joe
it wasn't
Joe Buck
done?
said it was
They just
fluid.
didn't like.
Well, Joe Buck said it was still fluid because of the whole opening. They had a
Was
few
it
things
really
to work
fluid?
out.
What was left to work out?
But it's officially done now. So you'll start seeing more and more leaks. But it's officially signed, sealed, and delivered. Thank you.
So maybe we'll get
Horace.
another Chiefs leak. Right now, the only Chiefs leak we have, if you missed it earlier in the show, the Chiefs are opening up the season against the Denver Broncos to begin the year and will face them on Monday Night Football. Will Mahomes be ready for it? That'll be the story of the summer in the NFL. Will it be Bo Nix versus Patrick Mahomes? And will it be at Arrowhead or I don't remember the name of their Mile High Stadium, but I don't know what the name of it is now.
You need the breaking news center?
Speaking of the Denver Broncos, before we get to the rest of the AFC, because you asked me who's in their tier, Stephen A. was on with Carrington yesterday.
What is it called now?
And had
Empower,
yeah. Had this to say about the Denver Broncos as being the best team in the AFC.
I'm going to look at the Denver Broncos. I'm going to look at a team that was 4 sacks shy of the all-time single-season sack record by the Chicago Bears in 1984, I believe, when they had about 72. And the Chiefs had, the Broncos had 68. I mean, I look at the Broncos right now, and if Bo Nix doesn't get hurt at the end of the divisional playoff game, an overtime win over Buffalo, it's a very, very good chance Denver's in the Super Bowl instead of New England, because you got to believe that Bo Nix would have found a way to get Denver more than 7 points, even though the snow came down in the second half. I just look at Sean Payton and the way he's played that team. I look at the way he's coached that team. Rather, I look at the defense and the way they get after the quarterback. I look at an offense led by Bo Nix, which is not shabby at all. And I just say to myself, they had home field advantage. They should have been to the Super Bowl last year. So why rule them out this year? They can run, they can throw, they can defend, they can get to the quarterback.
The one part about it I'll say is it's a really hidden trap in sports to say they were only 4 sacks off of the record. You know what that is? Unsustainable, Bink. Nobody goes back-to-back years. Yeah. Very rarely on defense of just like having you can still get pressure.
It's an overrated stat.
The sack numbers are not going to be.
It's overrated.
That again. Sack is an overrated.
Only 4 of the top 10 teams in sacks made it to the playoffs. Only 4 of the top 10 sacking teams made the playoffs.
Really?
So, yeah.
Are you sure? God, that seems low. I mean, I'll check it, but I believe you. Let's see. Sack number teams NFL 2025. You're telling me right now? I mean, Denver is one of the best teams in the AFC, though. Bink, come on.
But Stephen also didn't say they were 12-2 in one-score games that year. I mean, there's certain things.
Yeah, there were some things that were lucky. I'm not going to deny that. The Broncos were a lucky team. They're also just built. The way they're built is repeatable, I guess. They didn't, in a sense that the way that they won last year and the age in which their team is makes me think that they are certainly viable in that. In fairness, Bink, you are right. Last year, the top 5 defenses in sacks were the Broncos, Falcons, Browns, Lions, and Vikings. Only one of those was a playoff team. The Steelers and Texans, Rams, and Seahawks, though, were the next 5, and that happens to be the 2 best teams in the NFL last year, the Rams and the Seahawks, and some other playoff teams. So, maybe it's not the end-all, be-all stat, but I'll tell you right now, I bet the bottom 5 teams all missed. Hell, I bet the bottom 10 teams all missed the playoffs, don't you think? Niners, Jets, Panthers, Ravens, Cardinals, Jags. There you go.
Yeah,
I was
good.
I got to find at least one team that's on there. But it's they won a lot of last-minute games, but they're...
And there's the Patriots with 35 sacks.
Who is the best
Chiefs
team in the
with
AFC?
35 sacks.
Right now, May 12th. Who's the best team in the AFC?
We don't. I honestly.
What's your answer?
honestly think you could just.
I'm not saying it's an easy.
shrug emoji.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's an easy answer, but if they forced you to name the best team, Ravens.
I would say the Bills right now.
Brand new. See, I don't new head coach.
I would say the Ravens.
Oh man, who would I say? Patriots? No.
It would be the Ravens.
Broncos.
It would be the.
I think I'd say the Broncos.
I don't think I'd say the Broncos.
Oh man, it'd be the Ravens, Broncos, or Chiefs for me. It'd be one of those 3, but I would say Ravens right now. If you made me pick one.
I'm not saying it's an easy answer. That goes back to the tier thing, Bink. You'd ask me who'd caught up with the Chiefs, and the answer is, as of today, almost everyone. They're not better than the Chiefs, but there's a lot of teams just as good as them, deserving to be in the conversation with them. They got just as many questions as the Chiefs. Like, do I think it's just as likely the Jags and the Chiefs finish with the same record, despite the fact they were 5 games apart last year? Hell yeah. Of course I do. Because the Chiefs are the Chiefs and the Jags are the Jags for a lot of reasons. And yeah, do it again with a new head coach. Do it year 2, and then I'll believe it. The Broncos are the most complete roster in the AFC. They do not have the best quarterback, not by a mile. They probably have like the 7th best quarterback in the AFC. And that's what gives people the hesitation. And I don't blame people for that.
The reason I'm hesitant on the Bills is because I think is because I get that Joe Brady is going to be different than Sean McDermott, but how much different is Buffalo going to look? And also, how much is the defense going to be better, or is it going to be the same, or is it going to be worse without Sean McDermott? Because we know the history, Sean McDermott, defensive guy, all that other stuff. Do we see the defense take a step back from what they've been in the years that Josh Allen's been the quarterback, essentially, or are they worse? I mean,
something to contribute to what you're saying is, even when the Bills had the best scoring defense in the NFL, it didn't matter for Josh Allen. They had the best defense. When Patrick Mahomes went 13 seconds on him, that was the number 1 scoring defense in the NFL.
But Bink,
they've given him great defenses, and they hadn't come through. But
since Josh Allen's been the starter after year 1, 10 wins, 13, 11, 13, 11, 13, 12. Like, if you just make me blindly pick a team to be the best team in the AFC, it'd be pretty easy to just choose the Bills and say them.
Yeah, you would think it would be.
But I think we underestimate, just like we did with Tomlin, it is a lot easier said than done to be an NFL head coach and to win 11 or 12 games. Their coach could just be worse, and they could win 10. Could easily be worse.
But they also didn't win the division last year.
And didn't win the division.
Is this something that's going to repeat itself, what we saw last year?
But I always look at tiers. I look at the quarterback, the culture. Yes, you might have a bad year, but you're still consistently good. You're not going to keep staying down long. Like we see these Johnny-come-latelys.
Yeah.
Like when the Rams won the Super Bowl, then they fell back. Now they're starting to build themselves back up. The Buccaneers, we haven't really seen them inviolable, even though they win the division 5 straight times, but not a emphasis in the NFL on getting to the postseason. But teams that fall off, or the Patriots, when they were on the run, they were always consistently good. You had to look at them and say it's still a good football team regardless. But the Chiefs, the Ravens, I would put the Bengals, if they stay healthy, if Joe Burrow stays healthy, in that defense. But what I'm talking about is those teams like the Jaguars.
Yeah,
they show up and good. Keep
Patriots, in a lot of ways, they went from 3 wins to one of the best in the league.
Since the NFL realigned the divisions 2002, 25 teams have gone from worst to first in their division in a single season.
Yeah.
In 53 of 55 seasons, a team that has missed the playoffs has made the playoffs. That just shows you the ebb and flow of the NFL, getting a last place schedule to a first place. Can you back it up? That's one thing in sports we always want to see. Can you back it up? And a lot of teams can't, because how many teams we see win Super Bowls and then fade away? The Chiefs didn't. They went on a run there.
Oh,
they went to 5.
That's much more rare.
Lost a couple. They still won 3, but they still went. They were still good, and they were still viable. A lot of teams get to the pinnacle, and they fall apart. Bengals got to the Super Bowl, fell apart. Like I said, the Buccaneers won it. Bruce Arians talking about,
Seahawks will be likely to lose.
In fairness, they went to in fairness to the Bengals, I don't think they're the best team in the AFC. I don't think they're in that tier.
Title game
they went to the AFC title game the next year.
Then they
and then their quarterback got hurt. And I think that there's an explanation for that reason. But I would pick the Ravens. I think.
But that's why I put the Bengals still in that tier, because
see, I don't put the Bengals. I don't put the Bengals in that tier because we don't know. They're an unknown.
There's a lot of Johnny-come-latelys. That's the one thing about schedules. We look at strength of schedule. Like the Chiefs have a very high strength
schedule.
of schedule.
We don't know choosing the best quarterback.
It's because there's always that worst to first. The Patriots sucked. Then all of a sudden, in the Super Bowl.
It's
just the way
I understand your reasoning behind it, but I don't think you can put the Bengals in that category because one, what they've done the last couple of years, and two, it's a whole lot of ifs. We think they're going to be better.
I said,
I don't even know. I think even still, and maybe this is just because I do it year by year.
But a healthy Burrow, that offense is really
I will
good.
say this is an awful year to choose a last place divisional team in the AFC to go to first.
Yeah,
my choices are the Titans, Raiders, Browns, and Jets. Not a single one of those is going into first place.
I'll take one team in the NFC that didn't make the playoffs that will make it this year. I think the Giants.
Yeah, I think that's a common one. That's not crazy. That might be your worst to first.
But that one though, we still don't.
Lions.
We still don't. The roster looks good, but we don't know if Jackson Dart is really that guy. Like I think there's
we don't know.
if you're telling me that's why I'm having trouble saying in terms of tiering out things. I base it off of the previous season more than anything else because I think we saw Denver take a turn. We saw the AFC West kind of take a turn. The AFC North is kind of still the same as what it was beforehand. Yeah. Lamar Jackson, if he's fully healthy, I mean, they brought in Surratt. They've got Jacoby Lane. It feels like offensively they've got, running back's a question because Derrick Henry, is he going to have not a down year, but is he going to have a similar year as last year? I think, is the defense going to be better? I think is Buffalo to me the biggest question about Buffalo is
I don't know
what
Buffalo.
You were saying, Cody, is Joe Brady actually, are they going to be any different or are they actually going to be worse?
It is more, like, in my opinion, it is more likely they are the same or worse than better. Like, just knowing how head coaching works and the level of success that they've had. And I don't particularly love their roster. And the part about being built around a running back in the NFL is running backs can go away anytime. Anytime. A major injury can get him. Anytime. Like, we talk about injuries all the time. James Cook could either be a shell of himself or hurt in a millisecond. Unlike any other position, running backs fall off of the planet.
And I'll say this as well. Only 4 of the top 10 running backs in the NFL last year made the postseason. Also, I'm talking about weird
James
anomalies.
Cook was one of them, though.
I'm talking about if you go year to year. All right? Yeah. So the Jaguars 2 years ago won 4 games.
Yep.
Last year they won 13 games. What is that
Patriots were the same.
The Patriots, they won 4 games in the Super Bowl the next year. The Seattle Seahawks didn't even make the playoffs the year before. They're Super Bowl champions now. It's very dangerous when you go one year to the next. I'm talking about sustained success when you think if things go right, they have the quarterback, they have the coach. The coach-quarterback combination is extremely important, but teams that are going to be viable teams that are strong all across the board. Offense, defense, strong teams. Teams with a lot of culture. There's some teams are consistently going to be good. And then, like I said, there's always those teams that rise every year that come from nowhere and are good. Stink. And there's teams you expect to be good that suck. Yeah, but Chiefs last year, 6 wins.
To me, I think we're talking about 2 different things then, Bink. I think Cody and I are talking about one thing where if you're talking about long, sustained success, then
no one's really into the Chiefs tier.
Nobody's
but if you're asking me to pick
then.
the AFC, I'm picking based off that theory.
Sure.
I'm picking based on my theories.
But that means you should be picking the Chiefs every single time then and nobody else because nobody else has been able to do what they've done.
Well, I have the Chiefs on the top tier.
To me then, like I don't know how you include the Bengals in that tier because they haven't done anything in terms of sustained success. They're not in that category.
Because I'm looking how good they can be with that offense, which hasn't taken a step back with Burrow there, and including all the defensive free agencies they got. Again, I'm banking on their defense being better.
That's not a sustained success change.
But that culture is a team that wins. It is a team that's been to 2 AFC title games, been a team to gone to the Super Bowl. They are the team but still with the same quarterback. That's always a threat to win MVP if he stays healthy. That's why you always have to count them in.
No, there's no doubt about what you're saying and like the way it is. The problem is like just for this year's teams, I think it's a big wash.
You just shrug your shoulders and you just say whoever does it does it.
Pick a name out of a hat. Look, do I think the Jags and the Patriots are the 2 most likely AFC teams to take a step back? Yes.
That's what it seems like.
Of course.
Yeah.
They both were picking in the top 5 of the NFL draft like a year ago. So could it all fall apart? Yeah. I would see fairly easily for me to just like say something doesn't add up there. Not to mention that Vrabel's team's probably a bit distracted.
The Houston Texans are that team poised to take that next step.
Yeah,
the problem is they don't because of the quarterback limitations.
But I
it's
will
the
say,
same situation.
Roster,
yeah, but I think, though, if you were to say the same thing about Burrow and the fact that if Burrow's healthy, we could say the same thing. If C.J. Stroud turns into rookie C.J. Stroud, the Texans should
best
be
team in the AFC.
The Texans will be the best team in the AFC. Yeah. If C.J. Stroud is the rookie C.J. Stroud, they are the best team in the AFC. Hands down.
The problem is he hasn't been able to find that in a couple of years.
I just think there's like going back to like just the AFC, and I think that this is probably the way we'll view it as we get closer and closer to the season. There are, for every team in the AFC, pretty massive questions. For the Denver Broncos, it's Bo Nix coming off of a serious surgery, and if he can repeat his rookie year or repeat his second year and be better, right, improve. For
and he's
the
been
Patriots,
dealing with injuries.
For the Patriots, it's the obvious. You were a 3-win team a year ago. Same quarterback, and then all of a sudden you're a 14-win team, and Vrabel, and they don't have any receivers.
They certainly don't have any distractions.
They don't have A.J. Brown yet. So until they get A.J. Brown, there's massive questions about their wide receiver crew. Jags, it's can they maintain it? These are just the playoff teams from last year. Stroud. The Bills have a new head coach. The Chargers are wondering whether or not they finally fixed their offensive line. Like, they all have. The Ravens have a new head coach. The Chiefs are coming off their worst season. Like, they all have at least one very serious question.
Give me the best coach and quarterback combination.
That's always going to be the Chiefs.
And people always say it. They say, well, you're just picking the Kansas City Chiefs because you're home or you live in Kansas City. No.
At least to say they're in the middle of the world.
I'm picking Kansas City to be viable for two very important reasons. Number one is what you do in the postseason. We can all agree on that. Number two, Andy Reid, the second most wins in the history of the National Football League, only 3 behind Belichick in the postseason. That plays. Patrick Mahomes, 17 playoff wins. That's number 2 all-time, only behind Tom Brady.
Crazy. It's
Those 3 factors right there are why you don't remove the Chiefs.
Is Josh Allen even in the top 3?
Playoff wins?
No, coach quarterback combination.
God, we don't know.
We don't know that yet.
Yeah, but
he's doing a lot of heavy lifting as the quarterback.
That's why and also let's not act like it's not like
if
they
I
hired
weight them
somebody from a new
evenly,
place
no.
though. Because to me, Joe Brady and him are a combination together already. To me, because they've been together for so long. Sean McDermott didn't do anything with the offense. That was Joe Brady and Josh. They've been together. It's Andy and Mahomes.
It was
McVay
Brian
and
Daboll
Stafford.
before that.
But they've also been a good defense, Drew. So that's a part of it too.
Brian Daboll's the one that turned Josh Allen around.
If I weighted evenly, as in the coach is 50% and the player is 50%, no, they're not top 3.
Correct.
If I weight it the way I think it actually matters, as in quarterback is 70% and coach is 30% in the combo, as in for the quarterback, 1 out of 100, they get 70% of the ranking, and coach 1 out of 100, they get 70 or 30% of the ranking, then they are in the top 3.
Well, here's the thing.
So I think they're a top 3 combo, Drew. I just think that Josh Allen is doing a lot
more of the heavy
he's having to put it on his back.
But isn't this how we look at football in general, though? Like, if you have high school football and you put it, say, give me a top 25, beginning of the year.
Sure.
The first thing you look at, what quarterback's coming back? What quarterback is good? Well, the quarterback or dominant running game, dominant running back. You don't look at the whole team as a whole. You go, who's got the coach or the coach? You might go, well, who's the coach?
Coach matters too. I'm not saying
college football too. It's a situation was, no one knew exactly how good Fernando Mendoza was going to be. That's why Texas got all the run because Arch Manning at the beginning of the year. But that quarterback starts to play. And when you have that quarterback, the sky's the limit for every NFL team. If you have that elite quarterback, when you don't have an elite quarterback, you have to have every other thing work. You have to have that defense work around him, like that defense in Denver, what they did with Bo Nix, because they won despite Bo Nix, not because of Bo Nix with that team. But the Chiefs, and you think about the team, Burrow and the Bengals, Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, the Bills and Josh Allen, they're always going to be in contention to start a year because of that elite quarterback. Well, so many teams teams have to be so much better all the way around, defense, everything else, if their quarterback's not very good.
I will say,
when you have that elite quarterback, things are different.
It must be nice to be in the AFC North, Drew. You realize they put out the strength of schedule based on last year's win percentage, and that the entire AFC North is at the bottom?
For some reason,
the Browns,
it
the
all
easiest
worked out
schedule in
that
the
way.
league. The Bengals, the third easiest schedule in the league. The Ravens, the 8th easiest schedule in the league. The Steelers, the 12th easiest schedule. The entire AFC North has got a breeze. The Chiefs still have the 5th hardest schedule in the NFL, even though they're playing a third-place schedule for the first time. That's because the division's good, in fairness. Broncos won a lot of games. Chargers won a lot of games.
And people are judging the AFC North differently because the Steelers won the division probably too.
Yeah, I don't look at them
things.
as it's hard to think of them as daunting when you're still letting the Steelers take down the North.
Yep.
Because that wasn't a good team. That wasn't a good. The Steelers were pretty average.
They were the team that was the healthiest, probably.
Yeah.
I think a division is a 2-team race, man, between the Bengals and the Ravens.
I mean, if both quarterbacks stay healthy, then yeah.
Yeah, it's probably. I mean, it's definitely not the Browns. At the most, it'd be a 3-team race.
And the Steelers can't figure out the quarterback situation. So
yeah, neither can the. I mean, the Browns are somehow worse. I'd rather start Will Howard than Shedeur Sanders. I think. Maybe it's just because I've watched Sanders fail, but there's some part of that.
Would you rather start Deshaun Watson than Shedeur?
No. Watson didn't have it when he left the last. He hasn't played football we have forgotten how long it has been since Deshaun Watson played football.
No, but the year before he left, he led the NFL in passing yards, and then everything's just kind of fallen off because he hasn't played. And then when he did play, he didn't look very good.
He has not played a game in 2 years. I forgot he actually started in Cleveland for a few games. Started 6 games,
and
6 games, and 7 games. He was awful in those 3. He played a combined 19 games for the Cleveland Browns, 19 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 3,300 yards. So not awful, might be too strong, but not good.
It just didn't. It didn't look like Deshaun Watson.
No.
Of,
And now he's just
the
older.
Houston Texans.
So it's like it's just gone even further down the list. When we come back, if you missed any part of our conversation earlier with JJ Picollo, we'll bring you back part of that. And we'll get you what's trending next here on Cody and Gold.
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Hi, I'm Amanda, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. As director of bridal design, I travel the world for inspiration so that your engagement ring stands out from the rest. My team of in-house designers and I work alongside skilled artisans to curate the most beautiful collection of exclusive engagement rings. At Shane Company, you'll find the ring that's a reflection of your unique style. No cookie-cutter designs here. See our selection in-store or at shaneco.com. Because a friend wants you to get exactly what you want. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
At Liberty Mutual, we love helping people with things like customizing car insurance, just like how we customize a song for you. Catered country tune. Liberty Mutual, saving you bucks by protecting your truck. 'Cause 30 told me to only pay for what I need. Thank you, Limu. Always trusting Limu with Liberty, 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 Liberty.
Did your HVAC struggle through this rough winter? When it comes to your home comfort, trust the local experts at Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter. Right now, you can save up to $2,000 on a new HVAC system with our trade-in allowance program. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews, plus our exceptional service guarantee, means you get safe, reliable service and peace of mind. Visit callhamilton.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions.
As a fitness coach, my active psoriatic arthritis can slow me down. With Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, I'm treating my skin and joint symptoms so I can keep moving. Skyrizi, a prescription-only injection for adults, helps me move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. And for those who have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible. With Skyrizi, there's no daily dosing. It's just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement. And that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
That wreck really took everything off track. Can't work, can't help with the kids. The bills are stacking up.
Then stop waiting. Call the Car Crash Kings, SWL Injury Law. Car crashes, that's what they do.
Yeah?
Yeah, they go to work so you can get your life back and get paid what you're owed.
Don't get pushed around. Visit us at SWL Injury Law today for your free consultation. We're the Car Crash Kings. It's what we do.
Visit SWLinjuryLaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hey, it's Dusty Likens, and you know baseball's back. BetMGM, the official partner of Major League Baseball, is bringing the high heat all season long. All season long, you can log into the BetMGM app and receive top-tier promos that put you in the batter's box and up the excitement for America's pastime. Step up to the plate all season with Swing for the Fences, the free-to-play game where every swing could score you rewards. We're talking parlay boost tokens, odds boost tokens, same-game parlay boosts, and even bonus spins all season long. And the action doesn't stop there. Get more out of every at-bat and every inning with MLB same-game parlay boost. Stack your picks and boost your potential payout. Plus, lock in bigger value with MLB odds boost tokens and MLB parlay boost tokens all season long. More boosts, more swings, more chances to win. Download the BetMGM app and step up to the plate today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 and older only. Missouri only. Existing customer offers subject to eligibility requirements. Please gamble responsibly.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
This is the Game of the Week report, brought to you by Hyundai.
We have a full slate of baseball games scheduled for Monday night as the season continues to heat up. Atlanta will take on Miami, Houston will visit the Twin Cities, and Colorado will host Texas. We'll also see San Francisco out in Arizona, San Diego hosts Los Angeles, and Chicago takes on Seattle.
The Game of the Week report is brought to you by the all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid. Learn how it's so much more than just another SUV at HyundaiUSA.com.
In a world in need of a hero, one man rises to the challenge in style. He is just driving the kids to soccer practice. Make every day feel epic in the all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid with up to an EPA-estimated 619 miles of range on select trims, advanced tech, and class-leading interior space.
Come on, guys. Mill cleats on a seat.
Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details. That's 562-314-4603.
Royals coverage is brought to you by Peter's Clothiers. Need a new suit? This week only, Peter's Clothiers is taking half off all Jack Henry suits. Choose from a selection of colors, styles, and sizes at Peter's Clothiers. But hurry, this sale ends soon. Half off Jack Henry suits only at Peter's Clothiers, 124th and State Line Road.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Rob Brennan. We hope you're enjoying Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's biggest sporting event. It's presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. New episodes released every Wednesday on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
What's trending?
Cheddar, mozzarella, Havarti. Number one on What's Trending, we know the Chiefs will now open up their season on Monday Night Football against the Denver Broncos. They'll take them on in prime time. Remember, no extra Monday Night Football games this year. They won't do the doubleheaders. They'll choose some other games instead throughout the year in order to load up the NFL slate. We do not still know whether that game will be in Kansas City or Denver. Adam Schefter reporting the schedule final as of a couple of hours ago. So we'll see what happens next. No other leaks on the Chiefs' schedule just yet. Just that they'll open up the season September 14th against Denver.
And it's Tuesday. Remember, there's a whole bunch to still come out, I'm sure, before they actually release them on Thursday. Royals back in action tonight against the Chicago White Sox that are currently, say with me, playoff team Chicago White Sox.
That's how I know about the AL's been.
Stephen Kullock on the mound for the Kansas City Royals. Yes, the AL is a jumbled up mess. In fact, the Chicago White Sox are the third wild card team, which is totally insane.
Next up on What's Trending, UMKC basketball expected to announce later today a return to Municipal Auditorium. You might remember.
Get what you want.
They played at the Muni not that long ago. It was, I don't know, mixed results is probably the way I'd put it. Sometimes it's just a little too empty, Bink. Sometimes you can get a good, you can get a really good crowd or an entertained crowd at Swinney because of, people showing some interest in the game, and it's a small venue.
I like it.
But if they're ever going to grow as a program, they actually have to do that. We obviously know that Muni's hosted multiple Final Fours, including like 3 of the first 4, I think is what it is. But Swinney only holds 1,500 people. And Mark Turgeon made it pretty clear that he wanted this to be a part of his going to UMKC, as it said. Anyway, in 2013, UMKC and the city spent $5 million renovating it. And I think they're expected to do maybe more renovations. We could get more details on that as early as 2 o'clock today.
And they need one of their instructors to be at every game with complimentary
I'll
tickets.
try. But I got to teach, too. I can't make every game.
NHL playoffs, Avalanche win 5-2, up 3-1 their series of the Wild. Sabres, Canadians, Ducks, Golden Knights tonight. Little doubleheader action in the NHL playoffs. And also the Kansas City Royals on. So you got a lot to watch on TV.
Yeah, plenty. Lastly, on What's Trending, the NBA playoffs. Let's get into those just a little bit. Last night, series got tied up for the Cavaliers and the Pistons. That's ended up being a really good series, Drew. I'm sure you've been watching that one, too. That's ended up being a really, really good series, at least on that end. The Lakers finished getting wiped up by the Thunder, who ended up finishing their sweep. Only one game tonight in the NBA, Spurs and Timberwolves. That series tied at 2 games apiece. Obviously, Wemby did not get suspended, so he'll be back in that game tonight. That's What's Trending here on Cody and Gold. Just going to let you know, I'm continuing to work on some possible plans on this spaghetti situation. So I have not given up thoughts on that. I'll have more on us going to the K to eat spaghetti tomorrow on the show as I inform Alex of my potential plan. So I'll tell you more about that tomorrow. But earlier today, we had a chance to catch up with Royals general manager and president of baseball ops, JJ Picollo. And I started asking him, hey, when you start that 2-0 homestand thinking, hey, I think maybe we can get to 5-2, is that too greedy, or are you just happy with 4-3 for the team during that stretch?
No, I don't even consider daydreaming. You win the first 2 games, you have a chance to sweep. You split the first 2. Now you're trying to get the win on the last game to win the series. But when you win the first 2, you certainly want to sweep the series because it's a great opportunity. And we didn't capture it. So it is a bit disappointing. But bigger picture, going 4-3 against 2 pretty good teams in our division. That's a win for us, so we can't lose sight of the fact that it was a good homestand. It just had a chance to be a great homestand, but it's done, it's over with, and now you move on and you play good tonight against Chicago.
JJ, when you look at the White Sox, how much different is this team this year compared to last year? It seems like the power numbers way up for this team. They've been spending money, obviously 3 guys with more than 9 home runs, but it seems like the White Sox are going to be a player in this division in the future.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Actually, talking to some of our players last year at the end of the season and talking about our division, a couple players pointed out that they thought Chicago was clearly better last year and a team we're going to need to worry about. Then they went out and signed a few guys, and obviously Murakami's playing well, and they're doing a nice job. They're coming along. They're kind of in the rebuild stage, but now they have enough young players playing on a daily basis and contributing. You can see the formation of a good team moving forward. And, right now, I believe we're basically tied with them. I think they have 1 less loss, but same number of wins, if I'm not mistaken. But they're moving in the right direction. That's where I think our division can be really interesting overall.
The division itself, it already has been interesting. JJ, you guys are obviously really tight. Before the season started, you had told us one of the big advantages you have is the Royals, is that you play in a division in which everybody feels like they're playing on equal footing. At what stage do you start saying, hey, we got to finish, we think the divisional finish with this record, or this is a prediction, especially now that we're a quarter of the way through the season? Is that something you guys start projecting?
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, so basically you're talking about a lot of 500 teams right now. So if you're going to be a 500 team the entire year, you're going to be in it at the end, but you may not separate yourself. So at some point, and hopefully it's us, somebody separates himself from the pack. All things considered, with the tough losing streak we had in there, we had an opportunity to be 20-20 after 40, which would have been more of a moral victory. We ended up not doing that. But in the end, with an 8-game losing streak, I think our team showed some really good character to get back to respectability. I think 500 is the bare minimum that we feel like we can do. If we're not playing well, we should still be around 500. But obviously the goal is to play really well and at some point really catch your stride and get going and be clicking on all cylinders. And the team that does that in its division is going to take off, and there's been some interesting things over the last 2 years, kind of the flip-flop of Cleveland and Detroit from one year to the next. One went on a great run and then one crashed and vice versa. You can see those things happening, but you play 500 baseball for a good portion of the year, but then you have a good, especially like say 2 months, you're going to put yourself in a really good position. The other part of it is you want to be playing well going into the end of the season, and carry that momentum, into the playoffs. So, right now it's one day at a time, one step at a time. We're showing signs of it. I heard something the other day. I think we have the most comeback wins in baseball, which kind of caught me off guard. But that's kind of interesting. And it says something about resiliency, but it also says something about our own internal expectations. So it's great that we've had some comeback wins, but our expectations are greater than the way we've performed so far.
I want to talk about some of the other guys in the field, including Salvador Perez and Carter Jensen. One on Salvi, seems like obviously hasn't been catching quite as much. Where is he health-wise? Do you guys get any sense that maybe the bat's coming around? Like I've said before, JJ, like I largely am very patient with Salvi because I've seen this a lot in his career. But is he health-wise, is he okay? Do you think you'll get back to a 50-50 split with him and Carter? How do you kind of envision, I guess, the rest of the season now that you're currently carrying 3 catchers?
Yeah, I think the first thing is we got to get Salvi back to the point where he can catch at least 3 days a week before we can get, away from a 3-catcher situation. We're not there yet. I don't know, how Salvi feels today, but we felt like somewhere in this week he'll be able to start catching again. We took advantage of, the Monday off day by giving him off on Sunday. And that's all an effort to just put him in the best physical health we can possibly put him in. He's not going to be 100%. Very rarely in the time I've known Salvi has he been 100%, which kind of, is part of his, legacy. He just plays, and it's great. But when Salvi's at his best, it's when he's catching enough and he's getting enough time off of his legs for the bat to be consistent and be strong and be good throughout the year. But Salvi's got he probably is the best perspective of anybody I've ever been around. He knows who he is, and he knows he goes through the periods of time where he's not hitting well, but he also knows he's going to go on a 3-week run. And at the end, he believes his numbers are going to be there, and historically speaking, his numbers have been there. So, that's where it's nice to have a veteran who knows what he is, who he is, and what he's capable of doing. And then we just got to help out by putting him in the best position to perform by balancing the catching and the DH days, throughout the year. So the injury aside, I think once he's healthy, you'll see him catching, back more to that 50-50. And early on, he caught more than 50-50 just because of the way some off days fell, and it just didn't quite work out that way. But I could see 50-50 just to keep him healthy and get the production out of his bat. Not only his bat, but also Carter. Carter catches a lot. It's going to take a toll on his bat. So we do need that balance from both guys.
Do you, like with Carter, I've heard Q say that he thinks he's a really diligent worker as it relates to getting better behind the dish. There's been some questions about pass balls or some of that, JJ. How confident, I guess, are you guys as an organization that Carter will continue to get better behind the dish?
Extremely confident. I think what he's going through are just some, young player type of mistakes, lapses in focus. Nobody probably remembers this, but we had very similar things happen with Bobby, his first year, trying to make every play and not making great decisions. And once he matured and understood, how to stay focused and what the moment is, he became a Gold Glove shortstop. Now, not saying that we expect Carter necessarily to become a Gold Glove catcher, but we certainly expect that the growing pains and being a young player, he'll grow out of that, and he's going to be a really good catcher.
JJ, is Bobby Witt Jr., is he quietly having one of his best years? You think about this guy, he's leading. I know the stats aren't going to blow people away at some point, but you look into it, he leads Major League Baseball in WAR. And every time, every series this guy does something, I mean, is this guy still getting better and better every day in front of your eyes?
It's really, I find interesting right now. So, the fact that he's leading Major League Baseball in WAR, I believe he's on track to have a greater amount of WAR at the end of the season than he did the year he almost won the MVP. But we also know that Bobby is just playing solid, quietly, really good baseball. But the explosiveness and, the homers and more doubles and all that stuff, it's going to come. So it's kind of scary to think about, where he's playing good baseball, which actually translates to great baseball. Still think there's more in there. There's going to be more, but it also speaks to how much he can impact the game, both on the bases, in the field, and in the batter's box. When you can do all three of those things, that WAR is going to drive north, and that's certainly what he's doing now. And I think it's just going to keep climbing. It's just a special player that we get to see every day, and you don't even realize sometimes how much he's impacted the game because he does it in such a consistent fashion. It's just neat to see.
JJ, you guys play, like, the home runs are up this season versus where they were last year. You guys have more power, but it's like everyone's just kind of like stuck in the same spot. Like, everyone's on pace to hit 20. Jack and Carter and Bobby and Vinny. Like, I guess, to that same point with Bobby Witt Jr., you guys still hoping that at some point this team's going to get on a run where the power potential of this team seems about as great as it has been in a number of years?
Yeah, I think that'll come around. We'd love to have, 9 guys or so, let's say 7 guys with 20 homers. That'd be great. But we have guys that are capable of hitting 30 or more. So Vinny's capable of doing it. Salvi's capable. Bobby's capable. Mike Kells could be in the 20s. So we got some guys that are really capable of doing more. But again, going to use the word consistency again. The more consistent we are, the better off we're going to be in the long run. So it's good that we got more guys that are hitting for more power, and we're trending in the right direction. But we do know we have a couple guys in there that are going to hit more, and that's not even talking about the young guys that we know are capable of hitting 25 plus. It's just a matter of when do they do it in Cags and Carter, but they're capable of doing it as well.
You guys have Stephen Cola going tonight because Cole Reagans had to go to the IL about a week ago or so. I guess where are things with him? Obviously, that kind of injury, as you know, with Giordano or some others who have had it, depends on the pitcher. So, optimistic still that it might be a short version for Cole Reagans, or do you guys think he's going to need more time?
Yeah, no, we're optimistic it'll be short. When we decided to put him on the IL, we felt like it was going to be basically the 15 days, talked about throwing play. He's already started to throw again, so it's not like he's not playing catch. He's playing catch. He'll progress to the mound here within the next couple of days, and that ideally we get him out on a rehab assignment, sometime in the next 7 to 8 days, so he can make that start when he's ready to come off of the IL. But so much of it just depends on how he progresses through this week. But the feeling was that it was going to be short term. Our medical staff is really good. They know Cole's body very well. They think he's going to respond exceptionally well to the injection and the time off and get back on track quickly.
I will say, back on the other end, Noah Cameron is someone you would need more if Cole Reagans is going to miss time. I've seen some stuff on arm slot or velocity. What do you guys think it is with Noah Cameron right now that's not equaling the same amount of success he had last year?
Yeah, well, one, I think the tempo in his delivery is a little quick, and I think that's leading some command issues. But the other thing is he was throwing a lot of fastballs, more fastballs than he did last year. So there's a real conscious effort this last start to throw more off-speed pitches so teams would get off of his fastball. So much of what needs to happen, though, is throwing strike one, because he has the ability to expand with the changeup, the curveball, the slider, and now, the cutter as well. He has a lot of options, a lot of pitches, a lot like Lugo and Waka. But if you don't throw strike one, then you kind of paint yourself in a box. And, throwing strike one consistently is a big key for any pitcher. But, it seems to affect Noah a little bit more, probably because his room for error is not as great as some others. He's more of a finesse, touch and feel type of pitcher. He's got enough power, but he's going to rely on soft contact quite a bit. And, to get that soft contact, you need the hitter on their heels. And when he gets them on their heels, he's going to get soft contact, and he'll get deeper into games and be a more productive starting pitcher, which we've seen him do.
One more question on the standings, JJ. I do find this interesting, and a lot of people don't realize that the White Sox are actually a playoff team right now. The White Sox are the third wild card. The Royals just a half game back. I don't think people realize they're just a half game back from the wild card. And I kind of want to know your perspective, JJ, when you look at the front office and how you think of things. I'm just curious how the American League looks at things. 'Cause only 4 games back. Houston's in last. They're only 4 games back from a wild card. But when you got all these teams right there, and you're looking at teams, who's going to make moves, who's not going to make moves, I think this is going to be a crazy summer, because theoretically, every single team in the American League has a chance.
There's no question about it. And I can't figure out, why is there a disparity between the records in the National League and the American League. I can't quite figure that out, other than it's, a quarter of the season. It'll play out. But what it does, the sort of the snowball effect is when every team thinks they're in it, the trade deadline becomes kind of interesting. It's going to be sort of stagnant, because if you're a 500 team and you're in it, you're going to look to acquire more than likely. Especially, if you believe in what your team's doing, you're going to look to acquire. But if too many teams are looking to acquire, the supply of players to help those teams get better goes down, because they're keeping their players. So it could have a great effect on the trade deadline. And, but the interesting thing is there's been 2 pretty significant trades made so far. You had the Guardians acquire a catcher from the Giants, and then today, the Diamondbacks and Dodgers made a deal. So, it's just one of those things. We have to do our work and speaking with other clubs and communicating, so what might be happening along the way. But they were 2 pretty big trades, or what we call significant trades, being made. Really, what's today, May 12th? We've had 2 significant trades already, so I find that kind of interesting as well.
Has anybody made you a trade offer yet?
No, not yet. No. Yeah, we're going to stay on the phones and keep working and see what evolves. But I think teams are in that stage right now. Like, what do we really have in our team, and how do we make good decisions come early July, late June, so we know which direction we're going by the deadline.
Feels like if you're trying to buy this early, JJ, you got to be the one calling them maybe too,
Yeah, you got to have specific need, and I think that's a little bit of what we saw in both of those trades. There was a need, and teams were able to find a partner and make a good trade.
That was Royals GM JJ Picollo joining us on the show earlier today. If you missed any part of it, catch it up on the podcast page at 965thefan.com. While we were listening back to some of that, somebody quote tweeted that Chiefs schedule release thing back into my timeline. It still stinks, Drew. I thought about it more, and what Bink was saying, like, it's a joke. They're being funny. It's like, it stinks. It's not a funny joke.
Yeah.
What is appealing about it, Bink? Just bad photoshops and sourdough bread?
It's just the amount of people taking it that's seriously.
It's also the captions,
I just
too.
don't think it's very
Cody, it's also the captions. Scroll through and read some of those captions.
Made this loaf just for the halibut.
Yeah.
Instead of halibut.
Please.
Well, obviously, they're trying to be cheeky. I'll give them this. They're trying to be corny. They're trying to be cheeky. They are accomplishing the goal of, let's be really dumb with this.
Yeah, let's be dad joke funny, yeah.
But it wasn't funny. The point of
I
jokes
agree.
is to be funny and to make me laugh. I didn't laugh when
Unless
somebody
they're
said,
embracing it.
did somebody say rye bread? Oh, dry bread. And it's got cactus needles in it. Not even a chuckle, Drew.
Did it?
Not even.
What,
not even a chuckle.
No.
Not even a chuckle. And so the problem was, it it looks like somebody plugged this all into like some ChatGPT AI generator. Did somebody even
right.
Did they actually let the person at Arrowhead edit this thing, or did they just throw this thing into Gemini?
You actually might be right about this. It could be brought to you by AI.
Well, how many pieces of bread were there? Just 2 is all I saw.
Oh, there's a bunch. Bink, there's one where it says,
They've got a
don't
bread bowl.
lose your dough, and it's the one for Vegas, and it's got chips going into poker chips going into a black hole, and then there's haters will say it's AI.
They were embracing the
and
corniness.
it's got peaches in the sourdough, but it's the Falcons game.
And I'm also saying haters will think it's AI.
I gotta say, this was just a miss.
Tried.
This was
that
just
means
a
they
miss.
tried. If people say haters think it's AI, if they were saying haters will think this is AI, they're trying.
Drew,
and
when
they're
it's
failing.
all said and done, you will know the Chiefs did this as a joke to troll people.
Nobody's arguing that.
It didn't work.
The jokes
I would
are
say,
supposed
but
to be funny.
They
Yes.
are, but it's to troll. They doing this because they knew they've been considered lame the last couple of years. Well, actually, every year.
Somebody said they liked the
schedule
Pitbull one. Okay, that was probably their best one. In fairness,
They do such a great job in every video. Like the franchise series they show, like everything they do is
their
like
in-house video
top
stuff
notch.
and some of the social stuff is really good. They just don't like what people like in social sometimes is a personality, and I don't think the Chiefs brass allow them to have it.
Like if that horse,
like that's why their schedule
Yeah.
release stuff is always like it's cash cab or it's cards. It's always very safe, very mature.
Like if that horse
very
farted out their
careful.
opponent's names, that'd be best.
Yeah, but it's not
Like that'd be great.
not a lot of risk taking. That's all.
Like if that horse do it.
That's all. It just wasn't. This one was a miss. They're not all misses. This one was. Sometimes they look good. Sometimes they work. The sourdough bread feels like an homage to Taylor Swift.